Yo, what is going on? Forza Milan, like always. Well, I wasn't supposed to have a live today, but things opened up, so I guess I decided to do a live. How is everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody's having a good day in the world of AC Milan. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday, whether it's during the day, during the night, during the morning. Did you guys check out the games? Napoli 1-1 against Barcelona. Atalanta beat Olympiacos. And Lazio was winning against Porto, the same Porto that beat us twice, but then they ended up losing 2-1 without their best player, Diaz. Would you look at that, guys? Would you look at that? But we are going to focus on AC Milan, and we're going to focus on the Salernitana game coming up. And there's some interesting reports that we can talk about that have come out. A lot of speculation regarding the market, a lot of interesting news. Nothing confirmed. Just voices. Just voices. It does look like AC Milan is going to have a very, very, very busy market this upcoming summer. What's up, Joel, Jamal? How you guys doing? UL final will be Sevilla versus Atalanta, and Sevilla will win. It is very possible. I am not expecting any Italian teams to win. I have accepted the reality of the matter, and the reality of the matter is that Italy sucks ass. Italy is disgusting when it comes to football. Italy is the worst footballing country there is when it comes to club football. The only thing that saves Italy is the national team. But when it comes to club football, Italy is the worst of the worst, only to be recognized as failures, disappointments, cowards, just losers, just born to be losers. It's just the way it is, you know. It's been it's been like this for many years now, Joel. It's just the way it is. Italy, it's club level, a national level. Look, the fact that Italy is definitely not going to qualify for the World Cup, they're not going to do it. They can't. They don't. They can't do. There's no. This has been Italy's history. When it comes to the national team, it's been their history forever. They win a big tournament, they all get big, fat, and lazy, and they stop fighting for they mess things up, and we won't see Italy again until the next Euros. So forget Italy in this World Cup. They're not going to be there. I've already put that in the back pocket. Uh, but we won the Euros. That was good. That felt good. Um, when it comes to club level, Italy is just it's a bag of shit. You know, like when you have a bag of shit, it's a bag of shit. Italy is a bag of shit. It's the most disgusting country there is when it comes to club football, and it's painful to watch because it's like being a supporter for such a long time and seeing Italy dominate at all levels when it came to football. And now they're the worst. They're the worst. And unfortunately, guys, I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck how controversial this is going to sound. I don't care. But I'm just going to say the damn truth. Ever since Italian clubs stopped fucking playing Italian football players, boom, the clubs have gone down. The clubs have gone down. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? It's the fucking truth. People are going to say, well, that sounds a little bit controversial. No, it's the fucking truth. The moment that Italy decided to abandon the Italian football player, it's the moment exactly, it coincides perfectly with when exactly Italian football declined. when they stop playing Italian football players. Because when you have Italian football players playing for for their fucking country and for their pride, they're fighting for something extra. But you know, when you have teams that are full of mercenaries that don't give a shit about Italy, do not fight for for Italian pride, you know they're not gonna have that same fighting spirit. And again, I don't give a fuck how controversial this sounds, but the moment Italy decided to stop playing Italian football players, the moment Italy goes to play Europe with only one Italian football player on the pitch, and that's it. That's the moment where Italian football declined. Because when Italian football was winning everything, we had seven Italian football players on the pitch. We had Italian football players. It was all Italians. But now, for some fucking reason, you know, if you have an Italian surname, you're a fucking piece of shit, and you don't deserve to play in football club. So I'd rather spend millions, and millions to get players from other, and which is fine. I don't have a problem with any of this foreign players, whatever. I don't. It's fine. Well, the thing is, that's just the truth. The moment Italy stopped playing Italian football players, is the moment Italy declined. And it just comes down to that. Because we saw what happens when you put fucking Italian football players on the pitch. They come together, they play for their country, they play for that. And the same thing with Spain. Every single country, it's the same shit. It's not just Italy, it's the same country. It doesn't matter where you're from, it's going to be the same thing. You know, before the Euros, everybody thought the Italian players were shit. But then you get them to play the Euros and they fucking win the whole damn tournament. Why? Because they get together, they come together in their culture, whatever it is, in their Italian ways or whatever. Same thing with Spain. They all come together. They have that thing in common. They're Spanish, Germans, English, Dutch. It's the same thing with every single country. But the difference is that in Spain, you still have, you know, the Spanish players playing. In Germany, you still have the German players playing. Even in England, you still have the English players playing, even though England has completely lost that tradition a long time. But Italy is the worst one out of them all. Italy, there's literally no Italian players. And well, that's what happens. That's what happens, you know? That's what happens. You lose that extra bite. You lose that extra will to fight for something. It's normal, guys. It's normal. It is just natural. It is natural. Um, it's whatever, you know, whatever. Let's see what the future brings. But it's a very big disappointment to me. And Italy is not going to recover anytime soon, guys. Italy is gone for the next 30 years. 3 decades, Italy won't be nowhere to be seen. The only hope Italy has is Milan. That's it. And and simply because Milan is the only team in Italy that can transmit to its own players this international DNA, this European this courage to win outside of its own frontiers, right? Milan is the only team that has that in its spirit. But Inter does not have that. Juventus does not have that. No, none of these freaking teams have that. So Milan is the only team that has that in its history, in its blood. Um, but that's it. That's it. And it's going to be. Italy is gone, guys. Italy is gone. Forget Italy at club level. Soon, right now, we saw that we are fourth in the list. England is number one, Spain is number two, Germany is number three, Italy is number four, but France is number five. France is coming up real fast because in France, they play French players. If you look at the French teams, it's all French, it's mostly French players. And those French players are going to play for their country and they're going to play for for their for that group, right? That group. and they're going to surpass Italy. It's just a matter of time. And then it's going to be Italy is going to fall back. Probably Holland is probably going to surpass Italy. Portugal is it has already surpassed Italy. Portugal has already surpassed Italy, in my opinion. Um, Italy is gone. Is done. It is done. Finito. Caput. Finito. Italy is ciao ciao. See you in 100 years. It's done, guys. They fucked it all up. They fucked it all up. They had a good thing going once, but now it's all gone. So, what sucks for me, the thing that I hate about this is that for the rest of my fucking life, I have to live knowing that I support a piece of shit country of a team when it comes to football. And, what are you going to do? I have my glory days, I guess, but from now on, we'll be always everybody else's bitch. We're going to be everybody else's bitch. So it is what it is, and you got to live with it. You got to live with it. You got to live with it. Italy and Serie A is destined to become everybody else's bitch. So I guess it's just the way it is. The only hope is us, guys. The red and black colors of AC Milan. We are the only hope that Italy has to garner some respect, garner some pride, some happiness, some joy. Milan is the only team that has a chance to do this simply because of the history they built for themselves and this DNA and this spirit that they have built for themselves, which is tied to going outside of the frontiers and conquering the footballing world. And this is so Milan is we pray, guys, pray to whomever you pray to that Maldini, Gazidis, Massara, and Mr. Elliott can produce a team that is able to give Serie A some fucking breathing space, guys. Like right now, they're all kids, so okay, whatever. We literally all our team. I mean, now they've they've reached a certain amount, but 1 year ago, 90% of our team was playing in the under 21 internationals. 1 year ago, 90% of our team. So these are all youngsters. These are all youngsters, and so we got to be patient with AC Milan, and we got to wait till the age ratio or the average age goes up a little bit, and they get very experienced. They got very experienced. They got very experienced this year. They felt what it's like to play in Europe. They felt that they need to next year. They understood, but in Europe you can't fuck around. And I'm sure that next year it's going to be completely different. We're not going to. We're not going to. We're going to win. Next year, Milan is going to qualify for the next group. That is the only thing that will show progress. If Milan does not qualify for the group next year, then there was no progress. But next year, Milan has to qualify out of the group, and you will see, guys. You will see that when Milan is going to play in a quarterfinal in a group stage against any team in the world, they're not gonna fucking bottle it up like little pussy bitches, like every single fucking Italian team has been doing for decades. Because Milan is a complete different universe. Milan is a complete different universe. They're not going to do that. Now, maybe they're not going to win right away next year, but the year after they are going to win. But maybe they already are going to win. Maybe next year Milan can already get to the semifinals or even further. Who knows? Maybe Milan can even win the Champions League next year. Who the hell knows? But do not expect this from any other Italian team, guys. Do not expect this from any other team. Because no Italian teams are all a bunch of pussies with no balls, no testicles. They're all little bitches that are scared of their own shadows and they have no personality, no character, and they have no Italian players. Every single Milan, let's just talk about Milan. Every single Milan that I've seen win the Champions League had at least 5 or 6 Italian players playing on the pitch. They're all group. They all get there. They play for each other. It's like a family, guys. Don't bullshit me. When you go to certain places, you usually go to the people that speak your same language, and you create that bond, and you be. It's the same shit. And right now, Milan has this French thing. We have a group of French players that are together. Maybe hopefully they can create this bond, this family bond, and fight for this. Like when Milan had the Brazilians and like I mean, at that time, in Carlo Ancelotti's era, it was pretty good because Milan created a group of Brazilians and a group of Italians. Basically, the same Brazilians that won the World Cup in 2002, and then the group of Italians that won the World Cup in 20, they were together. Right now, we're creating a group with French players. Guess what? France is still world champion. France is still world champion. France is still delivering France is still the best national team. I don't know if our player. I mean, Theo Hernandez surely now is in the French national team as a starter. He freaking won the Nations League for them. Mike Magnan is definitely maybe one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, so he's going to be there. Kalulu soon to be um, a French national if he continues this way. I mean, he's in the under 21. The only progression from the under 21 is into the national team. Giroud is a World Cup winner for France. So we are, Ali is coming in. He's an under 21. So guys, I'm just watching Italy and Europe, and it's always every year. It's so painful to watch. It's so painful to watch. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of being Europe's bitch. I'm so tired of it. I wish I could be like Layert and just give a fuck about AC Milan. I wish I could do that, but I can't because I can't. It's just not me. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying. I'm already tired of this shit. What you waffling about? Well, I don't. Maldini Gazizan, yeah. Serie A needs to start English coverage and really put. No, it doesn't matter, guys. English or whatever. Serie A just needs players that, first of all, needs courageous coaches. First of all, courage needs courageous coaches. First of all, and you need your domestic players. You need your domestic players. It's the domestic players that I'm not saying the domestic players are the ones that win, but the domestic players in any country, these big footballing countries, are a huge piece of the puzzle. Italy has completely abandoned that idea. I just hate that shit, dude. I'm almost ready to quit Serie A. I'm almost ready to quit Serie A. 7 times plus higher. Wait, hold on. Let me see what you were saying. The league needs to be a closed league like the Super League with no relegation to start. What? 7 times plus higher, and therefore entices more owners to buy. I've studied this, by the way. Okay, all right, Kengu. In Europe, what's up, John? In Europe, Serie A is doing poor, sadly. Let's hope we change that next season. Win this year, Forza Milan. Yes, sir, Red John. I like that. The consequence of this is you abandon the pyramidal clubs below potentially, but it might be the only way to keep up. Inter dominate for 75 minutes, score 0 goals. We get dominated for a whole 45 minutes and managed to score 2 goals in 2 minutes. Yeah, this whole Inter Liverpool thing, what a disaster. What a freaking disaster that was. Anyway, guys, as you can see, I'm super salty as fuck. I'm super angry today. I'm super disappointed. And once again, I have come to the realization that from being a number one, we have fallen. We have fallen so low. We have fallen so low. We have fallen. The mighty have fallen. And we shall stay fallen for a very long time. We shall stay fallen for a very long time. Shit will hit the fan even more if Italy don't qualify for back-to-back World Cups even after winning. Yeah, they won't qualify. For Italy is not going to. They do not have. I guys, put it in your back pocket. If you want to fucking make fun of me, do it now because just get it out of your system. Italy is no chance in hell. Italy is going to the World Cup. There's no chance in hell. Zero chances. There are more chances that Macedonia is going to go to the World Cup than Italy. Italy has no chance whatsoever to make the World Cup. It's not going to happen. This is not the Italy of the past. This is the Italy of this is a new Italy. It's not the same thing. And Milan about to become French national team. That's fine. Forza Milan. In Vasil Bayonet in the Russian is the I don't know. I don't know what this Vasil was asking about a live tweet. Napoli doesn't have Europa League DNA. What the F? Kangoo. Yeah. Yeah, guys, it's just freaking disappointing, guys. It just sucks. Just sucks. Everything sucks. Everything is disastrous. Everything is a disaster. I think I'm going to become negative like Red John from now on. Red John, I think I'm going to become a negative just like you. Um, because there is no way out of this, guys. We are stuck in this tornado, and we are messed up. We are we are fucked, guys. We are fucked. But anyway, this is a Milan channel, so let's talk about Milan now, and let's see what's going on with this Salernitana. Man, I don't even have. Let me put the link in the chat. Hold on. I don't know what's a bigger tragedy, Ronaldo don't qualify or it. No, well, Ronaldo's going to definitely make it because Ronaldo is a player with balls. Ronaldo has a personality, has a character to do things that are very difficult to do. Italy, man, these guys are just a waste of time. A waste of time, guys. A waste of time. A waste of time. Hold on, let me get the link here. I love Italia, but Effigy doesn't want to develop their football. That is a problem. Imagine that not. Yeah, I hope he does. At least that'll be a great experience for him, and that can help. And then he can bring that experience to Milan. Let me hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's go into this probable formation. Let's see what's going on with this probable formation against Salernitana. AC Milan will depart for Salerno tomorrow ahead of Saturday night's game against Serie A bottom place club Salernitana. Guys, by the way, Milan is number one in the table. Salernitana is all the way in the bottom. So Milan will definitely be very, 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 very careful to not bottle this one up. Um, According to the latest from Milan News, this is what we are expecting. Magnan in goal, Magic Mike, who is absolutely beast. He's an absolute beast, the best in Italy for sure. Um, and then we have who else? We have Calabria on the right. We have Tomori Romagnoli, the duo in the middle, which is a very, very solid duo. Teo Hernandez is back. By the way, guys, what's up, Red John? How you doing?
Hi, Ryan. How you doing?
Good. By the way, Teo Hernandez, even though he got that red card, he's still one yellow card from getting suspended, by the way. Okay, so in case anybody was wondering. Tonali Benacer in the middle, but I saw that Kessie is above him from what I've seen. Salamakers Messias, I saw that Salamakers is in front of the Messias so far, and then Diaz Leao Giroud. What do you think of this formation, Red John?
It looks like a pretty decent formation. Like right now, we have no need to make to do turnover. We have to play our best team until the end of the season, right?
Yeah,
This is like the blessing in disguise was the elimination from every European competition, right?
right.
So we have to make use of it, and especially with our injury problems that we had in the past, let's try to have a healthy season until the end of it, right? Let's try not to injure anyone.
That's the hope, right? According to all those things that you just said. What did you think of my little rant about Italy? I think you
Well,
mostly agree.
no, I agree 100%. Like I this was one of the reasons why I kind of low key supported Inter yesterday, or like how I'm gonna low key support Juventus as well. The problem is, and Laird seems to just ignore this. Like the league is being, you should have seen the pundits yesterday on every single sports show, man. They were basically making fun of the league, and this is not this is not a good thing investment wise.
Yeah,
People like, if people watching the shows and everything think that Serie A is not at the level of the Premier League and will never, then they are not going to spend money to watch the league. This is my problem. And
yeah,
them not spending money means less sponsors. Them not spending money means less interesting people are going to try and buy Serie A teams, which goes in our disfavor.
yeah,
That's why I don't want City to win, man. I would rather PSG. I would rather Porto win, or Lisbon. Anyone but the English teams.
yeah. And we saw how in these decades that have gone by, with Italy just being everybody's bitch, how the big players don't want to come to Italy. They don't want. Why
Yeah,
would they come? Why would they come? Why would they
ex-
come?
exactly. And even some big players that came, because one of the biggest came, but he came to win the Champions League with Juventus, like to do the impossible.
Right.
Like Ronaldo came to Juventus to somehow, even for personal glory, to make a team that was not able to win the Champions League win it, and he failed. So yeah, I
Miserably,
understand that. Yeah,
miserably. And also, Ronaldo did not come at the peak of his career.
yeah.
He came when he was done with Real Madrid. Like Mbappe will never come to Italy.
No,
Haaland will
but
never come to Italy. These players will never come to Italy. It's
like
it's it's done.
it's sad, Roy. But take a look around. Like Milan, the team that is leading the league, has a 41-year-old striker. As much as I love Zlatan, right?
Yep,
Has a
yep,
like.
that's true.
Can you even imagine someone? at 37 in the Premier League, being a
Being,
starter.
yeah,
No,
it's not possible. It would never happen.
exactly.
Real Madrid would never have a 41-year-old being their main guy. Man
Yeah.
City would never do that. All these teams would never do it. It's true. Like, we are
Mhm.
just lucky that Ibrahimovic. By the way, Ibrahimovic was about to join Napoli. By the way, so
Yeah.
we're incredibly lucky that Ibrahimovic decided to join Milan because Ibrahimovic was ready to. He had already had his agreement with Napoli, but then Napoli sacked Ancelotti, and then he decided to not join because he wanted to play for Ancelotti. Then, luckily enough, we got the 40-year-old to come and save our asses.
Exactly, and this is my problem, man. Like just take a look at all the encounters that Serie A teams have had with either La Liga teams or English teams. It's not a good look, man. Like
No,
we
it's not a good look at
we
all.
win rarely. Just take a look at Napoli. When Napoli went against Leicester, they got 4 points out of the two games, but struggling and having a really hard time with a team that is not even top 10 in the Premier League.
Right.
Man,
Yep.
this Premier League right now reminds me of the 80s and 90s Serie A, man, when Parma
Yeah.
would dominate teams.
Right.
Fiorentina would be a beast. Sampdoria would smash people. Get it? This is the
Right.
Premier League right now. But I'm sorry, and I'm going to stop. The problem is that they
No, no. Keep on going.
they earn so much money that it's going to become impossible
It's
to reach there.
impossible. It's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
impossible.
yeah.
It's done. I think it was someone put it on the chat. The difference in how much the the Premier League brings in as far as money.
Like four
Um,
times more than us, or something like
yeah,
that.
I think it was 6 billion.
Yeah,
We are at 500 million.
yeah.
It's done. It's over.
Yeah,
Like, this
it's,
race is finito. We are finished. It's done. Italy
we
is finished. It's gone.
we play like different sports, man. It's not like
Yeah.
even.
No, it's literally Premier League is like Division A. Italy
Yeah,
is like Division C at this point. It's Division C. I don't know, man. It's disappointing. I don't even know what to. There's nothing we can do about it, but just
I agree, and especially for me, man. I grew up with Serie A and with Milan being contesters every single season, so it's so hard for me to watch, man, and to watch kids around me all supporting Premier League teams. Like, what the hell, man? It's
yeah,
super weird. It's super weird.
yeah. And
Like, for example, in Germany, Serie A is non-existent, man. When I tell people I'm a Milan fan here, people are like, "What's Milan? Oh, Milan. Yeah, they used to be great, but
right.
people know nothing." So it's like crazy.
Yeah, and look, every single academy I've been, every single summer program I've done with these children that come with their shirt, I've never seen in 10 years. I've never seen one kid,
Yeah,
and I swear to you, aside if they're Italian kids, they'd have the Italy shirt or they have whatever shirt, but I've never seen one kid that was not Italian that had an Italian jersey. It's always either Barcelona, Man City, now PSG now with Mbappe,
yeah,
or Real Madrid, or Manchester, or Chelsea, or Arsenal. I've never seen one kid that was not Italian come to a soccer camp with an Italian shirt. Now, in
yeah,
10 years, I'm telling 10 years. I'm not even joking.
yeah.
I'm not even joking.
I'm not surprised, man. I'm really not surprised. This is sadly the state of Serie A for plenty of reasons, right? The reasons come from the way the league has been directed to the country itself,
Yeah,
because one of the major problems is the country itself, to the
yeah.
economy, to the culture of Italy, to the
One second.
bureaucracy.
Take over for a
Yeah,
second. I gotta.
to the bureaucracy of the country. Like, I think it's a mix of things that just provide like a mix that in itself is bad for business. Like, just take a look at the fact that in Italy it's impossible. It's like you can build 10 stadiums in in the UK, but you just cannot build a stadium in Italy. It's impossible. Take a look at Fiorentina. Commisso bought the team, hoping that he would be able to build a stadium. Here he is, X amount of years later, he is still not able to build a stadium. So yeah, but it's not just about branding. I think the reason why the EPL is so much better at everything than Serie A right now is because the EPL was able to foresee a market and invest on that market ahead of everyone else. When the Premier League rebranded itself into what they are now, like the Premier League and everything, they invested the shit on in the American market, man. While other leagues just didn't. Well, most of the leagues didn't. No, sure. Like I agree that they are not going to be the top league forever. Like if you take a look at the history of football, there's never been a league that has always been the top league, right? That being said, that I don't ever think that there has been this much of a gap between leagues financially, as much as it's been now. Just 1 second.
Hello? In 400 feet, turn right. I don't know if I'm mute or what's happening. I'm gonna get out and come back.
Hello? Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry. I have some stuff that is going on I got to take care of.
Sure,
Uh,
man.
uh, I saw Nathan is here.
Nathan. So
Uh,
yeah, so to answer Joel, like how long do you think it's gonna take for Italy to be successful in Europe? I think it's gradual process in the sense that right now Italy is better, in my opinion, than it has been in the last 10 years. It's just better, and maybe even a little bit before that. Like ever since Inter won the Champions League, I think, in my opinion, the level of Serie A as a general dropped. Like Milan stopped investing, Inter stopped investing, and Juventus became the powerhouse, not even investing a lot. It became the powerhouse making smart decisions, in my opinion. But then these last 10 years have been drastically bad. Now, what's happening right now, in my opinion, is a really good opportunity for Serie A to find itself. Because right now we have competition for the first time in the last 11 years. There's some fierce competition, and competition in itself means that each team is going to try to spend as much as possible and buy as the best players possible within their budget, and this is gonna raise automatically the level of the league. How much and how long it will take, I don't know, man. In my opinion, it could be in the next 5 years that an Italian team wins the Champions League if the competition in Serie A remains this close and this fierce. Because right now, at this point that we are right now, I just think we are all equally bad, right?
Yeah.
But with each season, teams are gonna get better, and maybe they get closer to the level of the EPL or even the La Liga teams. Because take a look at the La Liga teams, and La Liga teams have been eliminating Italian teams in each group. Like Villarreal eliminated Atalanta, Atletico Madrid eliminated us, and now you have uh, Barcelona totally destroying Napoli game wise, even though they weren't able to win. So it's
Yep.
Yeah, the announcers even said in that Napoli game that the longer the game went on, the less Napoli had control, and they were just getting beat back and back and back.
Did you watch that game, Nathan?
I was listening to some of it.
I didn't see any of the games today. I was very busy.
to be honest, I think Serie A, and I'm gonna stop because I've been talking for 10 hours. Huh?
It's fine.
In my problem, Serie A is a fitness issue. The players that play in Serie A have a fitness issue. They cannot keep up with teams
No.
for a long period. Because
They used-
because I take as an example the game against Inter. Inter is by far the most athletic team in Italy. Like
Yep.
the stats show this, right?
Right.
And you could see Inter out of breath yesterday from
Yep.
the 70th minute onward. They couldn't keep up anymore. They just weren't physically there. Then
No.
you take a look. Then you take a look at the game Napoli against Barcelona today. Napoli after the 70th minute, they were out of gas. Like I don't know what's going on. And the same could be said even for us, man. Like when Milan played Liverpool,
Mhm.
we were out of gas after a certain amount of point. And I think
it was-
this.
I think it was
Mhm.
all the Champions League games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all of the Champions League games, because I think Serie A gives you this luxury of Theo, for example, or other people passing the ball around. Like no one is there pressing you like a crazy man. But then you go to Europe and you see that you have to do everything you used to do before, or you do in Serie A normally, but you have to do the same thing at 3 times the speed because the other guy is there pressing you like a madman.
And
Yep.
and that's why I said no matter what happens, it will be impossible for Serie A teams to get used to playing at that speed until more teams in Italy play high press for the entire game. Like just because you played against Liverpool once does not mean that you're going to be used to that level at just one time. It needs to be done every single week. And then in terms of Milan by themselves, they have to play high press and do it all game long, even if they do it until they start cramping. Because in practice, you get to take breaks and you can stop and do this and that you can't do in the game. So it's just one of those things where you got to do it all the time. You can't just do it as like a extra tactic. That has to be your tactic.
I mean, that's one of the advantages of the EPL is that all teams play at high intensity every single game, and
Yeah, but that's not like a unique trait. Anyone can do that.
right.
It's just getting to that fitness level is the only thing that you got to work on, and that you gain that fitness when you do it game in and game out. Besides just practice.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's going to happen, guys. I honestly think it's over. This war is over. It's over.
Well, you got to look at it, and that's why I said, especially now that Milan is getting back to the levels that they are, we can't waste our time with soft marketing in terms of like the team, and then going into the transfer market. Like the only thing Italy can use right now is that our names are bigger than the other team names, even though we don't have enough money to compete. Our name is how we compete, and we need to be more aggressive in that.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I think it's a wide problem. It's a problem that has to do with the stadiums. It's a problem that has to do with bureaucracy. Like something in Italy has to change, man. Like that they have to make like a decree in the parliament to make building stadiums easier.
It's never going to
everything in
change.
Italy smokes.
And also the tax system in Italy, it does not allow them to be competitive. I
The,
don't. I think it's the highest one in Europe.
no,
The
no, it's the French have the highest one with 49%
Oh really?
taxes. Italy
Yeah.
has the same exact taxes as the Premier League, 45%.
For player, are we talking specifically about players and their wages?
Yeah, I'm talking specifically about wages. Yes,
Mm. What's
and
the Spanish league at? Do you know?
I think 46, but I can check.
More than Italy? Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, yeah. We're fucked, guys. We're fucked.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to good scouting, and then, well, honestly, the teams they do need to follow how Milan are doing the approach. They do need to get to the point to where they don't have to sell players,
So
and they can just keep players.
Spain's highest tax is 45%. Italy's highest tax is actually 43, even less.
Ah,
So England has it 45 as well.
okay. So
So it's
taxes is not that's not a problem
no
then.
taxes are not the problem, and on top of that, we also have decreto crescita, which is which makes the taxes for new players 24%, not even 43. So it's like the taxes
Okay,
are
okay.
not the
So
problem.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
At least that's good.
But they are discussing it in the parliament because they actually want to remove it, which I hope they don't, because decreto crescita is at least like gives some teams fresh air, man. Right? They are
Mm.
able now to sign some players that they would normally not be able to sign.
Mm. Guys, what do you think about this? Did you see that today you had these two players here? Maybe you know them better, or maybe you do too, Red John. Nathan, these are Ajax player Nasir Mazraoui, being linked to AC Milan.
But
Oh,
I
the
think
right
he's a
back.
right back.
he's a right back. It
Hmm
makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, it does make sense because I've already said this team focuses more on defense than offense. So from that standpoint, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I just I don't know, man. He's not even a normal right back. He is right back that plays with his right. He's like inverted right back.
A right back that plays with his right. What do you mean?
No, I'm sorry. Like he's a left-footed right back. Get it?
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Do you know? Have you guys seen this him play?
No, I've never seen him play. To be honest.
I mean, I mean, even without seeing him play, you can just assume that he must have some sort of gameplay ability because he's on Ajax. All their players know how to play. But in terms of, it's kind of difficult to say because in the Dutch league, Ajax just steamroll people and they don't really concede goals because of how they high press and get the ball back so quickly. It'll be easier to see how they play in the Champions League because it's different tactics coming up against their players.
Florence says they're probably trying to make him play left back as a sub for Teo. Well, first of all, we got to see if this link is true. I did hear Piligatti say today that the Veretu link is not true, according to his sources at AC Milan. And today, and these past few days, Belotti was heavily linked to Milan. Basically, Belotti had a agent. There are three agencies that are trying to get,
trying to recruit Bellotti, and I think one of these agencies was able to do that, and they're putting out all this news regarding Bellotti. So he does. So Pellegatti was saying he's not sure if this is true or not. He still has to confirm. And then he spoke about this one here, and he also said it doesn't make sense because we already have Kalulu there, we have Calabria, and Florenzi seems like he is going to be um, uh,
Same.
bought and then, so he thought it didn't make sense. Yeah. Who was better, him or Dest at Ajax?
Uh, well, Dest was the ones I came. Like this guy is still kind of relatively new, but Dest was the one starting. So, and again, it's kind of difficult to say because in the Dutch league, Ajax just teams barely get the chance to actually attack them to even get to their defense, let alone shoot on goal. So it's kind of difficult. That's why when you see De Jong at Barcelona, De Ligt at Juventus, Van de Beek, these guys are having a little bit of trouble because they were never really challenged in the Dutch league, and they only came up against strong competition in the Champions League. And that's just those games can just be one-off games where you just play at like an extreme level or extremely high level, and it's not like day in and day out.
What is your take? I asked Red John earlier. What is your take on Salernitana Milan? So basically, the formation is Magnan, Calabria, Tomori, Romagnoli, Hernandez, Tonali. So far, according to some reports, Pellegatti, according to his reports, Kessie is over Benacer, and on the right side, Salamakers is over Messias, and then you're going to have Diaz in the center, Leao, and Giroud. Again, Salernitana. Salernitana just have a new coach, Nicola, the guy that we beat 7-0, I think. So that's always not the best to play a team that just with a new coach because that team is usually plays a little bit harder. But I don't know. What is your impression of this game?
Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and be harsh. I don't
Do it.
understand
Do it.
why. Hey, I don't understand why the fuck we keep starting with Salamakers, and it's the same story over and over and over and over again. Honestly, he does way better when he comes in as a sub. Even if it's not being used to close the game, he just does better in general when he can come in and players are tired. Like it's gonna be another wasted like 45, 60 minutes for Salamakers. Other than that, Lance just has to play.
Who?
He has to play this game.
Who?
The young striker.
Oh, Lazetic.
The young striker.
Nathan, the problem is that guy is not fit, man. He's not match fit yet.
Fit and not being able to play for like 20 minutes, those are like different things.
I agree.
If if he can't play for 20 fucking minutes against one of the lowest teams in the league, again, our scouting sucks then. Plain and simple.
Well, so far, what we know about Lazetic is that he had difficulty adapting to the intensity of training. So now they're doing. So now they're
Yes.
doing. They've been doing a personalized training for him to get him up to speed.
Yes, but that
So
doesn't mean that you can't play against bottom teams who are probably at the same level as maybe like at the same speed that you were used to in the league you came from. Again, I'm not saying to start, but like if we're up 2 and 3 goals and they don't even look like threatening us, like bro, put him in. Like I don't care what you do in practice, what you do in the game is what really matters the most.
well, if they think he's ready, they'll do it. I'm assuming. I'm sure I'm sure he is itching to play, and I'm sure we will see him. I don't know if it's going to be this Saturday. Let's see if he does. Let's see what he's made of. But again,
it's not just him.
I am not expecting anything from Lazetic for at least 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah.
And,
and also Nathan, the problem is that we are out of everything right now. The only thing remaining is the league, right? Yeah, I'm not really up to start experimenting right now and discovering
no.
players.
It,
Right
it,
now, we need to play our certainties. The certainties right now are at least at that position is Giroud. If we are winning against Salernitana like 2-0 and it's the 80th minute, then you can put Lazetic in just to see him play.
that's what I said.
Okay. Okay. I agree then.
Yeah, and not just him, but guys like Nasty as well. Like it's better to play these guys because they are very young, and Italy is difficult for young players. Put them in a situation where they can play with freedom and they're not under pressure to get the game-winning goal. You're up 2-3-0. Let them get in and just have fun. If they score, that just boosts their confidence. If they don't perform well, then we can figure out what they need to work on.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. They did bring Lazetic in from the first team, so eventually they are going to use him. We'll see whether it's going to be this
I just don't. I
week or
just don't.
next week or
I
whenever.
just don't want to be in the position where Giroud is out. Like man, in the first half of the season, we had Zlatan out and
And
Giroud out,
Giroud, yeah.
and then
Re-
Rebic got injured as well.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
a
and then what?
nightmare.
Exactly. And then you're going to be stuck with a player who now has way too much pressure on him
Yeah.
because he wasn't even groomed a little bit for the game.
Yeah, it's really hard to disagree with Nathan here. He makes a really good point, to be honest, because like the only
It's already
thing,
happened.
and it has already happened this season. So
Well, yeah. Fuck. If Giroud is injured, guys, that's a big
yeah,
problem. I know
And
that.
Rebic is out of form too, so that makes it
Oh
even
man,
worse.
Rebic's form is so bad. Oh
yeah,
my
but
Right.
god.
So
Rebic is
it's dangerous what we're
yeah,
doing,
but
to be honest.
Rebic has always been like this. Like Rebic is gonna suck the game against Salernitana as well, and probably the game after that, and after that he's gonna start scoring. He has always been like this. Like Rebic plays really good, and finally after he's in form, he gets injured. He's out for
Yeah.
a month or two.
Yeah.
Then he needs 3-4 games to in which he looks like someone you took from the street. Right? He cannot stop a ball. Like he is embarrassing to watch in these games that he's like out of form, and then after that he starts scoring, and you know what comes after him getting in form, right? He gets injured again. So
Right. Um. Obviously, we're going to see Rebic play against Salernitana. Obviously, we're going to see him. Whether it's going to be for Leao or Giroud, I'm worried about this Giroud playing 90 minutes every games. Um, I don't think
yeah,
that can last too long.
I agree, and especially if you take into consideration the fact that Giroud has not been a starter in his what last 5 years. So
Mm.
it's like now he is basically a starter for us, playing 90 minutes every game.
Peter says, guys, don't you think like that the tide is changing? It has to change. We're going to win the Scudetto.
Yeah, like I feel a lot more optimistic. Like I feel after us winning the derby, I think we have mentally secured the top four. Like this is more or less what I've asked from the team. Like to say I want to win the Scudetto, because if you say you want to win the Scudetto and you do your best to win the Scudetto, the worst case scenario you reach top four without a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you win the league. So why not say
Right.
it?
Right.
Say it.
Oh my God, it would be so epic if we win it.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be so epic. Oh my God.
Yeah, because I feel like Inter mentally right now they're down, man.
Yeah.
They haven't had a good game against top opposition now for quite some time.
And now they are gonna face Sassuolo after that mentally and physically draining game against Liverpool. And I hope
Yeah.
Sassuolo do their job and get some points away from Inter.
Yeah.
I think they
Because
can. I think they can.
I think so too. Like Sassuolo is the team that has like lost points to every single big side, but Inter so far this season. So maybe it's time for Inter to drop some points as well.
Yeah, and then tomorrow you have Inter. No, sorry, Torino Juventus. Pobega is playing, so that's going to be good. Pobega's in the starting lineup. Good experience for him.
Yeah, I see an easy victory of Juventus here, even though it's a derby, yada yada yada. Like
That derby
yeah,
is so
yeah.
unbalanced.
It's like because people love to say, "Oh, it's a derby." The derby, it's a triple result kind of game. Like whatever, bro. It's like,
Yeah. That derby is not a real derby. It's a no offense to Torino, but it's kind of a joke of a derby.
yeah.
Let's see. I saw something interesting about KC.
Yeah,
I'm trying to look for that article. I don't know. I can't find it. I'll find it. Um, what did you guys think about Atalanta beating Olympiacos today?
I thank God
They
because
should. Right.
they are the only Italian team that won this week. So
Yeah. And it's a shame that the refereeing decisions that have come against us this year, because what I think we could beat Manchester United.
sure, but Nathan, like you know that I never talk about refs, and the reason why I never talk about refs, or I would have been talking more about refs if we would have put on good performances. But man, the problem that I have is this: after like just if I take one by one the games we played in the Champions League in our group, uh, both games against Liverpool we got outclassed. It wasn't even competition, right? Like
Yeah.
especially after the first game, I went out of the game kind of shocked, man, because I was expecting a difference, like Liverpool to be better. I wasn't expecting them to run twice as fast, be twice as good. Like they were just a different league, right? Then you go against Porto, and which was supposed to be the worst team in the group, right? And Porto dominates you for 2 games straight, man. It wasn't even close. Like we didn't put on a good performance. I understand we had a lot of injuries, we had a lot of players missing. We had to play with Giroud and with Liao without any subs, and because we had no bench, right? But the problem is I understand that the refs could have been better, this and that, but we didn't put on a single good performance. We put one good performance, and the ref fucked it up, and it was the game against Atletico Madrid in at San Siro that we weren't able to win because of the ref. It should have been a draw, because or maybe even us winning, and then the return leg against Atletico Madrid, we didn't play perfect. We scored a goal, but we didn't play perfect. Like we didn't play better than Atletico. We played more or less the same, but we different to them. We scored a goal.
And
So
I don't disagree with you. I'm not going to say that we deserve to go through. I'm just lamenting the refereeing decisions. But and in all, we certainly didn't, you know, put in anything convincing.
yeah,
It's just once you're down, then you're just getting kicked.
yeah, I, I get it, but I think it's important that the players got some experience, right? The players are not gonna go into the first match next season peeing in their pants like they did against Liverpool, because I've watched, I think a week ago or something, the first 30 minutes of the game against Liverpool. Man, our players were shaking. The only player, and one of the reasons why I love Tomori so much, man, is Tomori was the only player in the first 30 minutes playing for AC Milan. Tomori and
True.
Magnan.
True.
Tomori and Magnan.
And
Maybe it has to. Maybe it has to do with the fact that Tomori was maybe the only player who was used to the rhythm
Right.
of the EPL. But Tomori was literally one man army.
and
Even Kier was not able to keep up. So
do
yeah.
you guys, maybe not for the Liverpool game, but maybe for the other games, do you guys think maybe Tonali starting would have been better off?
Oh yeah.
Against the first game? In the first game?
No,
I don't because I don't think Tonali
yeah.
started. Did he start any of the games?
Are you talking
Yeah,
about the very first game?
Just any of the games. I can't remember if he
yeah.
started the games or not.
I
I just
remember.
remember I remember him playing in the league and then Pioli benching him for the
In the
Champions League
Champions League.
games.
Well, this is just my opinion, so I can't back it up with anything, but I think he would have suffered too the first game.
Yeah,
No,
as I said,
yeah.
except for the Liverpool game because they were obviously going to be far better, of course.
The other games, I don't know. I can't remember where Tonali was back then.
I think in the game against Liverpool, 100% didn't start because I remember Benacer and Kessie both
Right.
struggling, but
Yeah,
both
yeah.
started. Right?
Yeah.
I think he started in the first match against Porto because Kessie was injured, or Benacer had COVID or something like that. So I remember him starting against Porto, either the first or the second leg.
Yeah, and he didn't do
Yeah,
great. Man, we got fucking outplayed by Porto, dude. Like, what
yeah.
the hell?
Even Lazio was able to somehow score.
Against
Yeah.
Porto, right?
Yeah,
You know what's crazy? You know what's absolutely crazy? That Liverpool bought Porto's best player just to put him on the bench.
yeah. And hey, dude, listen here. They spent 60 million, man.
60 million
60
to put him
million,
on the
bro.
bench.
Bro, it's. They play a different league, bro. Like, what can
Yeah,
I say?
it's a different league, man. It is.
Different league.
It is.
See, like, can you imagine us paying 30 million, 30, not 60, for a bench
Right.
player?
Right.
Never,
No,
never.
that's just another stuff. What's up, Florent?
Not much, guys. What's up?
How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Getting by.
You're getting those stocks up?
Not really.
No, the stocks are down. The market is down. Huh?
Yeah.
Suffering
Yeah.
very
This is
badly.
Everything's going down right now.
the perfect time to buy, guys. The perfect time.
In a little bit, I think it will dip more.
What's that?
I
Your
think it's
sound
gonna
is a
go
little
even
bit.
more.
Say again.
I think it's gonna go lower.
Yeah, but this is the question, man. Like, everyone expects the market to go even lower until it goes higher. Right? So this
When
is like
do you think the
the
market
name of the game.
will go up again?
It just doesn't look too hot right now. Can you guys hear me?
You sound a little muted.
you sound like you're far.
Yeah.
So- Any better
I
now?
think
Yeah, that's
the
Yeah, there we go.
the markets will start, in my opinion, going up again when the corona restrictions get like removed in a more wider spectrum, like in more countries at the same time. Because I think Europe is about to like get rid of the corona restrictions in the coming
Completely?
weeks.
That's what I've been hearing. I've hearing by spring. So spring is coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. New York is not that. Doesn't look very different from the like early 21 or something. Not anything hasn't changed. Really.
Yeah, in the U.S. it's a complete different story.
yeah, but like the UK has already removed almost every restriction. Like, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to wear
Oh,
a
yeah, I
mask
heard.
anymore. You can do whatever you want.
I was listening to a live today, a podcast today. Same in Spain. They've
No, ha- have they?
that's what I heard today from a guy
Okay,
a guy that lives in Spain. He said that
interesting.
everything is back to normal there. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. My girlfriend is from Spain, so I thought, like, if that happened, she would have told me, but I don't know, to be honest.
Is she in Spain or in Germany?
She's in Spain right now, to be honest. Like, she
Oh,
left
okay.
yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What about Germany?
Germany, there are talks about removing the mask, but so far there's nothing really like removed. You still need to not only be vaccinated, but also have a test done to go and drink coffee in a coffee bar. So it's
What?
like, yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Do you
same in
guys
Italy.
do you
Yeah.
guys know what's going on with Russia in Europe over there?
No, no, I don't know.
Mm,
Like
They're still on that bullshit, is what they are.
Putin just like decided not to attack. So that's good
when?
news because he actually was like this is what he said like on the 16th I'm gonna make my play, but he decided not to do it. So that's all I know.
There is so much drama now.
What?
So much drama within this whole
It's not
Russia
drama,
thing.
man. It's a fucking war.
I'm not following it at all. It seems like here there's not much news about it. Or at least on this side of the U.S. I don't know. Maybe on the other
No,
side
man.
there is.
What do you mean? Biden was speaking yesterday or today. I don't remember. CNN
Oh,
is all over the place.
say what? Say again?
CNN is all over the place with this Russia thing.
Oh, really?
Biden had
Oh, well,
had
Man,
like
I
a
don't watch that.
emergency
Roy
meeting or
only
some shit.
watches Fox, man.
Dude, I'm a Fox aficionado. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking. No, I don't know. I'm not following any of that stuff because I really don't give a fuck about the military-industrial complex. It's all bullshit in the end. So whatever.
Yeah, it just sucks.
But if they want to go to war, they'll go to war, man. It'll happen. So I don't know. But you got, I mean, it's right there. It's just north of you, Red John. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you're
it's like
hearing it.
I'm not hearing it, but it's a pretty big conflict because the thing is, it's not just about two countries having a conflict with each other.
Exactly.
It's
That's why there's so much drama.
it's about two lines of ideologies having a conflict with each other in the sense
What
that
are the two ideologies?
like you have the Russian ideology, not that like maybe ideology is not really the correct word of it, but it's about uh, the influence streams, so to say. So you have Russia going against a country that by itself is protected by NATO, right? So if Russia goes or takes a step they shouldn't take, like NATO will have to respond. Get it? So it's I think it's
Hold on. Russia is part of NATO.
no. But Ukraine, even though Ukraine is not part of NATO, Ukraine is
They agreed
being
to be.
yeah, but they
Okay,
have
okay.
not joined yet, right? So they
No.
are under the protection of NATO, even though they
Yeah.
are not a NATO member country.
Yeah.
I hear this word a lot. World War Three. Like
Yes,
why
yeah.
would that happen? For this conflict, like so many conflicts happen all the time. Why would this conflict ignite a war
Because
amongst other countries?
it would
But
hurt it would hurt Europe a lot if Russia takes over Ukraine.
no, it's not about it hurting Europe. It's about uh, like
Well,
if
Russia too.
if Russia is able to somehow freely go to another sovereign country and just take a part of the territory in that country and no one reacts to that, it's it
Yeah,
damages it damages the power of the NATO like
But that
prospect.
happened
exactly.
last year with Azerbaijan and Armenia.
Yeah, but they are not
They're not in Europe.
like don't make me say what's kind of obvious. Like
No,
I
what?
understand
Say
that.
it. Say it. Say
No,
it. I don't know what you're gonna say. Say it.
I understand that, but the thing is the territory is different. Like the territory is happening right in front of the backyard of France, of Germany, of Italy, of the UK. So it's not as easy. What if next after getting a part of of Ukraine, they are like, oh, we're also going to Poland and get a part there as well. Like this is how war started. This is how the Second World War started. About Germany wanting to get a part of Czechia. Like, how do you say Czechia?
But wasn't this stuff happening in Eastern Europe for like the past in the '90s with Yugoslavia
Yeah.
and
Yes, yes, and in that case, like for example, let's take an example: the Kosovo War. For the Kosovo War, NATO went and bombarded a Russia ally, and Russia did nothing. It's a
Yeah,
game of chess. You go and bombard the country,
yeah,
and you wait for the reaction of the other one. The country with the bigger balls wins,
yeah.
or
Take
you start a
territory.
war, or you
That's
start a war. Yeah.
that's what it is in Ukraine. Because if NATO, if Ukraine joins NATO, then the forces of NATO would be so close to Russia. It would be too. It would be like a checkmate to Russia.
Yeah.
So that's why Russia can't have that happen. And I heard that in the 90s or 80s, I'm not sure when the Soviet Union fell, the US promised Russia that they would never move army close to their borders. And now apparently they want to do it, and that's why Putin is still pissed about it.
Most probably, yeah. Because right now, I don't think anyone wants or needs a war. But that being said, you have to make some bold movements. Because
Yeah,
the way I see it, it's all about the U.S., man. Because the U.S. is like the policeman of the planet, right?
Now,
They,
when you say nobody wants a war, are you sure
Mhm.
about that? I don't know about that.
some people
Yeah,
probably, some people that want to get richer,
When
but
you say nobody, what do you mean? You mean like the people, right?
the people,
yeah,
nobody wants it.
yeah,
Um,
the
But
people.
the guys that are making money off of industrial military industrial complex, they love war.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, but
exactly. Corporates.
sure, man. But I don't think it's that easy because wars get started by countries with another aim, which is bigger than just money.
Exactly. That's how World War I started.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Didn't,
World War I started because of an incident in Serbia.
yeah,
Yada yada.
stupid
No,
incident.
no one gives a shit. But the thing is, the real reason why it started
It's
was
like a
for
snowball
the
effect, you know. It's
yeah,
like
but
Alan. It just needs to
exactly. But
spark, and then every side has like a stronger ally, and
yeah,
then those allies have to stand up for the country. It goes like that.
It's going to be Russia, North Korea, China, and
North Korea.
Iran
And North Korea
versus
is
versus
irrelevant.
NATO.
North Korea is irrelevant. Like the scary countries or scary, so to say, countries that are portrayed by the media as the bad guys would be like Russia, China, India, maybe. So it's like still powerful countries.
What do you think about this? What Turbo says? It's about German gas line, Russia. It's all
No, but
propaganda.
No, but listen, the gas line, there is already a solution for that because the European Union and the US invested a shit ton of money about getting the gas directly from Armenia. So now they are not dependent on Russia anymore for the gas, but they can take it away directly from Armenia. Actually, now Germany and France, which are like the biggest gas users in Europe, have another way of, so to say, threatening financially Putin and Russia, right? Because they say we are not going to buy gas anymore from you, and that's billions of dollars damage just by them not buying you the product that you make money off from.
Gotcha. And Fuji Field says the last 20 years something has changed for good, and this is the common interest. So trust me, the next war is going to be digital. Nobody's going to fight with guns.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Information war too. Information
Yeah.
war. Um, I am of the belief that it could escalate, and I don't know what,
That's what
but
Biden said today. Biden said it's very likely that Russia will invade. They're actually freaking out. Like it's not that calm right now.
I'm not.
I don't know, man.
I'm
It's
not
so
following.
strange to me.
I don't
I'm
know
just
anything about this conflict, guys. I'm
I'm
not following
following
it
I'm
at all.
following the market, and I have to follow that because that's moving the market
Did you
all over the
did
world, man.
you did you before all of this happened? Did you invest stock in Pfizer and Johnson and Johnson and
Before what?
Moderna
COVID?
and Moderna? in the beginning?
No.
Ah, that was the whole play. That was the whole play, man. You missed the
Yeah,
whole play.
no. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of them. But it's getting. I think Moderna fell.
but but
Really?
also like all these companies, like the majority of these companies were actually companies that would do research for cancer or other illnesses, not virus related illnesses.
Yeah,
They just so happened that they turned their back on the research that they were doing before. They focused on the more uh, concerning matter at
they
the
took
time.
the opportunity
Yeah,
during
but
COVID.
sure, like we can call it opportunity, but at the end of the day, all that matters is the fact that they were able to, in record time, to produce a solution.
Yeah. Well, that's like a whole nother topic with the vaccines.
Yeah.
The vaccines. The only thing about the vaccines is that there's no way to know what the long term effects of the vaccines are, and that's the only thing. But
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't actually stop you from getting it.
I think the most messed up thing about the vaccines is that they're forcing people to get it. That that part is the most messed up part of it. Because if you want to take it, you take it. It's fine. If you don't
Yeah, but
want to take it, don't take it. But to be forced with like losing your job and things like that, or you
Well, they're
can't
going to
go
start kicking
here.
people out the military now if they don't get it. They're going to
Yeah,
pay
I
for
heard
them out.
that is
that.
absolutely nuts. That is
That's
nuts.
messed up. That's really messed up. But I taken the vaccine because I had to. But
Yeah, me
I
too.
I don't think that this whole conspiracy theories when they say yeah they're gonna kill you after 30 years and it's I don't buy that either. People
Um,
freak out for too much for no reason.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if yeah, those are speculations, etc. But same thing happened to me. I had to take the vaccine, otherwise I would have lost my job.
Yeah, so that's why I had to take it. Yeah, and it wasn't that they would fire you. You just don't get paid. It's stupid, man. This is the perks because Roy, you're in California, right?
Yeah,
And I'm in New York, so it's like the same mentality. The the liberal mentality. It's
yeah,
like
they're
off the
both blue
charts.
states, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because I hear stories from Florida and Texas, and it's like these guys have been living life for like a year now.
Well,
Oh,
Florida.
hey, man, Texas. Hey, like I said before, we don't give a shit in Texas. I haven't worn a mask like at all.
If it wasn't so boring in Texas, I'll probably move. But
It's not that boring. We got the four major cities, and then we got a shit ton of theme parks and
Wait.
whatnot.
How is Texas border? Have you ever been to Austin?
no, I never been to Texas. Well, I have a
Austin.
lot of people that have been there.
Austin is like a party town.
Yeah, Austin is a party
Well,
town. Houston is you got a lot of shit
it's
going
not
on.
only about partying.
San Antonio,
Yeah, there's like a lot of shit to actually
El
do.
Paso, El Paso,
I
I
guess it
just want to
depends on
be
what you
able.
think is
Dallas.
fun.
Dallas is a really nice place. Dallas is
You
cool.
just
Like
want to
what
be
do you?
able to get a slice of pizza at 3 a.m. on a Monday morning.
What?
Shit.
Yeah, in Austin. Is it bad in New York? I mean, honestly, in LA, the restriction. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really noticed them. They like to talk about them, but it hasn't really affected my life that much. Aside from having to take a vaccine because otherwise I would have lost my job. But I mean, I'm still can do. Well, I guess I can only go into venues with the vaccine card. If I didn't have a vaccine card, I wouldn't be able to go to venues.
Yeah,
I guess that's the thing.
you,
Yeah.
you can't go to a bar in New York.
Right. If you don't show proof of vaccine,
Yeah,
right?
That's crazy. Yeah, they don't. None of that shit's going on in Texas.
and with the mask, they just lifted the mask mandate on February 8th, I think. But the mask thing was fucking. It's just stupid, man. Like you want to go to a restaurant, you go to the door, they don't let you in if you're not wearing a mask. And then you go to the table, which is like 2 feet from the entrance, and then you can take the mask then. If you want to go to the bathroom, you have to put the mask, go to the bathroom, which is like fucking 10 feet
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
table.
yeah. Dude, that's the same
Stupid,
thing
man.
here. That's the same thing. You can't like Starbucks. I usually go in the mornings to Starbucks
This is
to
this
drink
is
coffee.
like an experiment, you know. This is like an experiment with people. How much they can follow, rules like things that you do with white mice in laboratories. That's the type of shit that this is, because it doesn't make any sense because you're right there, and if you put the mask 2 feet away, it's not gonna help anything if you take it when you're not there, when you're sitting down. It doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
man. But people just do it, and not only that they do it, if you don't do it, it's somehow you're evil or some like they made it socially unacceptable to be that, to not put your mask or something. It's like you're killing somebody. That's how they look at you. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit extreme. Um
Oh, to say the least, man.
I do get some people sometimes, like sometimes if I'm not wearing a mask, it has happened where, how come you're not wearing a mask? You got to wear your mask, blah blah blah, and all this, and the fear. There's so much fear. But on the other hand, I also understand, because people did die, and when people die, the government does have to have some kind of responsibility, and so I understand that argument.
Yeah. Well,
I
well,
understand
yeah,
that argument,
yeah. All right. I also understand that, but
and
this
they
is
have
just
to do
over the
something.
top because but you understand the government is not playing the this whole thing in favor of people. They don't give a shit about the people. Everybody is just trying to make more money out of this. They don't give a shit about people or
What
how
what
many they die.
what are you saying specifically? I don't understand.
Well, with the vaccines, like you take they came out with the vaccine first. Okay, great. This vaccine works. Blah blah blah. Okay, you take the vaccine, and then there's another one because there's one other virus that could put you at risk. So you need to take another one. You take that one, or there's another one that you need to take.
Yeah,
Free with a
but
booster.
but
And it's like all of these
That's
vaccines,
why I haven't got vaccinated yet,
all
yeah,
of
but
these
because
guys,
the shit
vaccines
doesn't
cost
actually
money.
fucking work.
no, but guys, you have to also keep in mind that the governments and people in general, they don't have the experience necessary for this. So we are learning as we go. We are learning on the
Yeah,
job.
but Rajan, my point is that money is changing the goal of how do you treat this uh,
But
crisis? Because
but
everybody is trying to make more money
but
out of this.
but
The
but
priority is not to protect people. The priority is
no,
to make more
I
money and try to
I
control things.
I disagree here. I disagree that we are able to have all these lesser, so to say, restrictions right now because uh, they were able to find a vaccine, man. Like less people are dying right now. Like
Yeah,
people that are vaccinated are almost like a very, 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 very small percentage of people that are vaccinated are dying because of COVID right now. This is
yeah.
this is like the
It's a
vaccine.
very
Listen,
you gotta realize that a very very small percentage were dying from COVID in general.
yeah, yeah, but I'm saying a lesser percentage of that is dying
Yes,
because of the vaccine.
that's true. That's true.
You also have to keep in mind the way the viruses work. Like the
Oh,
viruses,
I understand that, man. I
yeah,
understand that, but
no. But I'm just saying that the viruses they develop by being more contagious but less deadly. This is how viruses die. This is how
yes,
the Spanish flu, for example, we were able to get rid of the Spanish flu not because we had the technology necessary, but only because the virus became less dangerous but more contagious. Right. So
yes,
the vaccine just makes the bridge between just gives people a little bit more time until the virus becomes so weak that you don't need to have the measures anymore.
like the flu. But
Just like a flu, yeah.
that's how it was with the Omicron. The Omicron was the least deadly, but they still told you
Now,
to take
you see,
vaccines.
I
And
kind of see in both sides, guys, because the government has to do something. Because if
Yeah.
people are really dying,
yeah,
people
but
are in the
look,
hospital,
right?
the
I
government
just
has to.
don't. I don't
But
trust the
on the other
government
side,
enough.
Where I understand what you're saying, it is 100% obvious that there are people that are making huge
Yeah,
profits
yeah.
out of
That's
this.
what bothers me, man. It
But
really
guys,
bothers me.
people make huge profits even when you don't
But
wear a mask.
Red John, the way it is in the U.S. about this whole vaccine, like you get banned from social media, and like it just gone too far to even talk about a different
It's
opinion.
become
That
so political in the U.S.
yeah,
and
it's like religion right
it's
now.
so obvious that there is like special interest behind a lot of
Yeah,
these
it's like
things. Yeah,
everywhere you go, they paid everybody to make sure. Like, there's nowhere where you can go and somebody doesn't tell you to take a vaccine. Singers, celebrities, politicians, they mention that everywhere, like even where you're not supposed to do it. Like every media outlet, every late night show is encouraging you to do it. And okay, fine, they encourage you to do it, and then you decide. But it's not like that. It's like you get whatever warning from Twitter or any social media if you talk about. Look at what Joe Rogan is going through, just because he talks about a different opinion on the vaccine.
right. Joe Rogan is he's saying that he doesn't think he needs to take the vaccine. He has other ways to do it. Right to
Yeah, but guys, I respect Joe Rogan. Actually, he is my favorite podcaster. Yada yada yada. But I'll take the opinion of someone who's studied and based his fucking life around
yeah
this
yeah
subject,
and that
and
is.
not
Yeah,
the
but
opinion of Joe
that's
But
Rogan.
that's
that's not the issue.
manipulated, Red
That's not
John.
the issue, though. The issue is that it's clear they're trying to silence him.
Sure, but the issue, Roy, is this that Joe
That's
Rogan
not
has.
not in the country of freedom of speech, man.
No, sure, man, but he has a platform that gives advice to people, man. He doesn't just express his opinion. He influences
Nah,
people's
Well,
opinions.
but
yeah,
that's freedom. That's the way it should be. He has a podcast and he has conversations, and whatever
yeah,
it is his freedom to have those conversations,
Sure, no,
whether anybody likes it or not. And he has the freedom to have his own opinion. You, Red
of
John,
course,
you think you have the freedom to say, I want to, I trust these guys with a vaccine. That is your opinion, and it should be respected.
yeah,
But
and
it
they
should
can't
also be
control
respected his opinion,
they
but
can't
it's not like that.
control Joe Rogan because he's created such a big audience without working with anybody. Because every other celebrity that has a big audience work with somebody. They work with the mainstream media. There's all these shows, all these famous people that get on TV. They all work. They can't go on TV and say whatever their mind says, like Joe Rogan does, because he just found a way where you could just go on internet and talk about whatever he thinks without being influenced by a boss on top telling him, no, you have to talk about this shit because this is the people that are paying us. He has an independent audience, I mean platform, and it's so big now that people are saying his audience is bigger than all the mainstream media. So
Yeah,
it's like a direct competitor to what they're doing. So
and
they
that's
attack him like within a week. All the dirty shit came out of Joe Rogan. That's how you know that they're targeting somebody. Once you run for president or you get on their way, everything you did in your entire life becomes public to everybody.
it is clear that it has been a engineered attack on him, and it's clear that it's money, and I think we know who it is because, I mean, the biggest company that is paying mainstream media is Pfizer. And Pfizer is going to war against
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. The mainstream media is going to war against Joe Rogan
You,
because
was
it's true. He does have millions of people and he influences millions of people. Now the question is: are they silencing him because he's taking money away from them, or are they silencing him? They want to silence him because they actually believe that he's doing damage and they shouldn't.
no,
That's a dichotomy, and
it's both.
people might
It's the
have.
narrative. But people, politicians, and powerful people have used media for age to control people, and this is a new times where a regular person or a person like Joe Rogan that has like different careers could have such a big audience and talk whatever they want. It's dangerous for them because if somebody that is not they can't control can just go and say anything to people, it's dangerous for them because if they decided with this narrative, with the vaccine and the money.
So,
That's why it bothers them.
but
It's
you're saying that the media has lost the monopoly on information, pretty
Yeah,
much.
100%. It's
Yeah.
Guys,
just because of the technology,
listen.
Nobody really listens to TV like they used to,
But then,
CNN,
but
CNN. Dude,
go ahead.
when Joe Rogan becomes the main titles, the headlines of CNN about what he said about the vaccines, that's how you know that they're done. Why would fucking mainstream media with the CNN or Fox, like those big shot media, put a fucking comedian on the headline because he said something in his podcast? That's how you know they're done. That's how you know they have to attack him.
But you think that they are ill intent? You think the media has ill intent in general? You think that before when they did have the monopoly on information,
Well,
they worked for their own interests?
the media is there to control people, and we could
So
talk
that's
about
wait,
who.
hold on, but hold on, Florian, 1 second. But when you say
Yeah.
control people, that means that the media is doing something with, let's say, to put it in more simple terms, the media is doing something with evil intentions. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's we could discuss that, what they're trying to do, but they're controlling the people.
Like, did,
Probably not the
how
best
do you
intention.
define controlling the people, and how do
Well,
you,
well,
how does the media do that?
like the mask thing, like the mask thing in Corona.
Man,
It, it,
listen, the mess thing does not come from the media, man. The mess thing comes
y-
from
come
the
on,
doctors.
yeah, okay, I get it, but okay, okay, so the doctor has, when you go to the doctor, they tell you to do something. If you
Yeah,
decide to not do it, you could still go on with your life.
yeah,
But
sure, but
and look, I wore my mask all the time. I'm not
yeah,
against the mask, but
I understand.
if I see somebody that is not wearing a mask, I'm not gonna call him a piece of shit. I'm not gonna call him you're killing somebody, you're putting somebody in the
But
hospital
okay, but
because
what
that's
happens
stupid.
okay, but what happens if you are in the bus with your grandfather and it's just the beginning of COVID right now, and the masks have just been implemented into the way of life, right? And you are
Yeah.
with your grandfather who suffers of X illness, right? Are you, and you have a guy there, I don't know, coughing, but he doesn't have a mask because uh, he believes in freedom. Do you tell that guy, yo, dude, either get the fuck out of my space or wear fucking masks because I want to enjoy summer days with my
Well, it
Well,
depends on the
at that
context.
grandfather,
point,
if you
Red
don't
John,
mind.
that comes down, Red John, that then comes down to what that company is doing. Like if you're outside, you can't control that. But like if you're in a restaurant, you have to follow the
Man,
rules that the restaurant implements. That's why in Texas, that's why really nothing ever closed. They left it up to how each individual business wants to conduct it and how they deal with COVID.
no, but
So
but
And Red
but
John, you know how
but
the
Nathan,
And
doctor,
Nathan,
how many
that's
times
what I agree. Sorry,
but
guys.
Nathan,
Guys, let me just say this real quick, and then Red John, Nathan. That's what I agree with. Every business should have the freedom to do what they want.
no, guys, come
That's
on.
how it should be,
yeah, but
But
Roy,
no,
because
Roy,
that's what it
Roy,
is.
it
and that's
depends.
that's the right way to do it.
It depends what they want to do because I don't know if you remember the time when one bakery refused to make a gay wedding cake, and they got
No,
they
I'm
were.
specifically talking about the pandemic.
Yeah, but that means that they should have the right whatever to do with their business. Because when you
That's a
open that
different
door,
topic. I don't know about that.
yeah, but
I
you
don't.
open the door to what you can do with
No,
your own business, right?
no.
no,
But
no, but
we're
no,
talking.
no, but
I'm talking specifically about the regulations that were put onto businesses due to corporate. Like we were saying this yesterday. Corporate businesses kept open while personal businesses, your regular shop, if you own a shop in Melrose or in wherever road, your shop is closing. But the corporation that sells those same products that you sell, they get to stay open. That's what happened in many of these, let's say, blue states. But in Texas, every shop had the liberty to do what they want. If you want to wear if to come into this shop, you got to wear a mask. To come in this shop, you don't. This shop, but they all stayed open.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and it was whether or not you felt like following them. If you didn't want to follow it, then you didn't get to go in there. So if you brought
Yeah.
your loved one who had a weak immune system or whatever, they will be protected by the rules of that restaurant. And if, let's say, that restaurant doesn't tell you that you have to go 100% with the rules, like what they recommend, because they're all recommendations, then you just don't go to wherever that place is.
Yeah, I think that's
Like,
the correct way to do it. I think,
an asshole,
but hey,
the person shouldn't be
people.
an asshole. That's just how it is. That's just
In the blue states were mostly very strict when it came to mandates, and that's what people vote for. Though they vote for that kind of stuff, and in the red states they vote for other kind of stuff. I'm happy
Yeah.
here in LA. I like LA.
You're right. No, yeah, I like New York about because it's not only that exists here. It's changed a lot in these past 2 years, but New York has a lot more to offer than just that. It's just that part that I can't stand.
I think
It's like that
it's
with
gone
everything.
to extreme, dude. I agree with you, man. I think
Yeah,
it
it's,
has
it's
gone
just
to
too
extreme.
much, man. It's too much, and I've been here long enough to
then
tell
they've
the
also
differences. But
like those masks and stuff. Like the shit doesn't even really help you, because
exactly, how
unless
many
you're
times they
wearing
changed
like
their
a
mind about the
sealed,
mask? They changed
like if
their
like
mind
okay,
about the mask like 5 times. Once
so
it works,
you
and then
guys
it doesn't,
you
and
guys
then
know you guys know that I was in the military, and so we would have to wear gas masks every now and then. Those are airtight sealed masks where no air is getting in and out, except for the air that's being filtered. Those masks are not filtering out uh, air like how, or keeping bad things out like how they think it would be. Like if you were to wear that mask, and let's say Russia fucking did a chemical warfare and they fucking bombed us with a chemical that where if you inhale it you get sick and die. That mask is not going to protect you
Yeah, but Nathan,
because it's not airtight.
yeah,
But
but
I'm
Nathan,
just giving an extreme example. Of course,
yeah,
it's an
but
extreme example. But I'm
Nathan,
just saying.
that exact mask is also worn when a doctor has a surgery, man. So that mask is actually
But
it's like
But
the,
that mask during surgery, is it there to protect them from diseases, so to say? It's to protect them from diseases
no,
that are
no,
in your blood. So
yeah,
they
but
don't.
the mask is there to protect the patient and the doctor, but the patient first.
Yes, I understand that. But like I said, if it was 100% guaranteed, that's one thing. But the air that you're breathing is a lot of the air is coming in through the sides of the mask.
Yeah, Nathan, but
So if someone's breathing behind you, then you're
sure, but
breathing in that air that they're breathing out.
sure, but if you have 10% chance of getting COVID, and if you have 12% chance of getting COVID, would you not rather have 10%, like 2% less than normal?
okay, with John, if you stay home and you don't go out, it's 100% that you don't get COVID.
but,
And
but,
how,
but,
Yeah.
that's the
but
point is how much are you willing to give
man,
to reduce those chances?
guys, we live in a society, meaning your right ends when my rights start. Like this is you
No,
have
it
what?
just.
Well, that's the price of that's
I
democracy,
under.
guys. That's if you want democracy, there's a winner and there's a loser. So if the people that won the mask win the elections, they get the mask. The people that don't want the mask win the election, they don't get the mask. Depends on the state because of the state, and it's true. Like, what are you going to go to war with each other? What's going to happen?
I mean,
And
that's
like
how
in
people have
in
gotten.
your your rights aren't ending anywhere. Like if you want food, you can get your food delivered to you, HEB or Kroger's or whatever. You can do contactless delivery or contactless picking up. So you
Yeah,
can
man, but
still get the things you want. If you want some food, then you can get it delivered
sure,
to you.
sure,
Like
man, but
if you want to
you
go to the
have your.
restaurant, you can. You don't have to go sit in the restaurant. You can get your food to go.
I understand that, man,
If you
but
go to a restaurant,
you have just because you would rather not have a mask does not give you the right to infect my family member, man. You get it?
Yes, but you also don't have to keep your family there, and that's
man,
why I said it's
he's
up
going to
to what
work.
the business decides.
He's going to work, and he has to take the bus, bro. Okay. If we are talking
Okay,
about
but
no masks
and and
on his way to
and
work, he gets COVID. He has diabetes or whatever, and he dies.
o- o-
Now,
okay,
is it too
but
much to ask
Redjon,
for the
if
society? Is it too much to ask for the society to have the mask and give this guy a little bit more chance to not get the COVID? In, in my opinion, it's
I'm
a fair
almost
fucking trade.
positive,
I will wear a mask not to kill
I'm
someone. Are
Okay,
you
almost
kidding
Red
me?
John,
positive,
Red John, let me ask you: do you
I'm
see
almost
somebody that
positive
doesn't
that
wear a
public
mask?
Guys, one at a
transportation
time.
is.
One at a time. One at a time.
Go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say I'm almost positive public transportation is making you wear a mask, but even if
Yeah.
they didn't, there's still other means of transportation. In which case, Uber and whatnot, all of them wear
Oh,
masks.
come
I'm
on,
almost
man.
positive they're required to wear.
I'm sorry, but
Okay, but you see what I'm
this is a
saying though?
very
Like
weak argument.
Red
there,
John,
there's,
it's the amount of times
and
they
that's
change
the
their
truth.
mind. The amount of times they change their mind about if masks work or not, it's unbelievable. And I still
No,
don't understand it. I wear it when I'm required to, but if the virus is airborne, contagious, then the masks don't do shit because you're still breathing air. And if it's not, then the
Exactly.
masks are there just to protect you if somebody literally coughs on your face, and it protects you from the droplets or something. But other than that,
Yeah,
and look,
because
and I still agree with
like
that.
when you
If it helps,
sneeze, it's like a 6 foot difference or 6 foot radius.
right, but and still, okay, if that means then it protects you from somebody coughing, then even better, it protects you from something. But I don't see somebody that is not wearing a mask as somebody that's trying to kill somebody, because that's how it's become in
Well,
the states.
that's when it's yeah. That's when it becomes
They look at you
extreme.
like you are trying to kill somebody,
And
literally. Like
this
they
is
look at
where
you like a
no, man,
killer.
and
but
this is where the
And then on
media
top of that,
comes in because the media plays into that. And
but
this is where the media
and then on
seems
top
a
of
little
that,
bit dodgy. That isn't too
John, on
extreme.
top of
That
that,
leads to
you
war.
know,
That will just lead to war.
and on
It's
top of
very
that,
dangerous.
John, you
It's
know
very
the
dangerous
people
because
who are
then that
getting the
makes it
people,
okay to be violent towards them because they're trying to kill somebody. When because
and
they
then
literally see
John,
it like that.
the people who are getting those infected are the ones who are actually the ones with the shot. Because the ones who get the vaccine are the ones who go out and don't use the correct protection. So they're going to places, oh, I have my card, so then I don't have to wear a mask. Even though they can still get infected or carry the disease on them and then
Yeah,
give it to somebody else.
yeah.
So they're the ones who are actually
no,
the most damaged, not the ones who are not who because the ones who are not um, the ones who do not have the disease, we're still following the rules if they tell us to. But the ones who are not, who already have the shot, they're not following any of the regulations at all. None of the regulations.
Well, it depends
Even though it's
where.
already
It
proven
depends
that you can
where.
still
yeah,
get it.
like I was about to say that. Like it depends where. Like in Germany, or at least here in the state where I live, everyone, regardless if you're vaccinated or not, you have to keep a mask.
Yeah,
And
LA
Well,
here, everyone
I'll
always
just
has a
say
mask. Always.
well, I guess I'll speak mainly just for like, I guess Texas, because that's where I live, obviously. But the ones who are causing the most damage are the ones who have actually got the shot because they think that they become like super immune and they're not going to ever get it ever again. Meanwhile, they're passing it to other people because they think that they can't even carry it. My wife, she works at the city of Houston, and her job is essential, so she never closes down. The people who have gotten sick multiple times, each time has been a person who has the vaccine, and not the people who don't have the vaccine. Each time.
I don't know if that's completely accurate though.
Um,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I
No,
know
no, no. I'm just giving you off of her own experience of what's
Right,
happened.
right, right. But in general, when it comes to
yeah.
in general,
I don't think that's in general. I know a doctor, and when this Omicron was surging, he said mostly people that get hospitalized are people unvaccinated.
yeah,
So it does
no, but
help. The
no,
vaccine
no,
does
but
help.
yeah, It's a fact. Like you can check the stats.
Yeah, I look, man. I'm all for that. It's just this whole other part when like you have to do it, and if you don't, you're like this like evil person.
A
You
villain.
trying to like that's a
Yeah,
lot. That's just ridiculous, man.
that's
I can never agree with that,
and
man.
the media is
I
pushing
agree with
that,
that.
and
No,
that's not
I
good. That's not good.
no, I agree with that. Like people, you shouldn't make people do the vaccine. But that being said, you should restrict some of the activities that they are allowed to do in order to keep the other ones who are still or who are afraid or who could potentially die if they do indeed carry the virus, right? So man, the whole situation, the problem with this is that we do not have the experience, man. Like it's just like in football, a guy who's been playing Champions League for 10 years or for 5 years is not the same as Tonali was playing Champions League for the first year, or Milan for the first year. This is the problem. Right now, this is our third year, like second year, actually, second and a half, whatever, that we are having to deal with a global pandemic. Last time this happened was 100 and something years ago. So society has forgotten how do you handle a pandemic. So everything we are doing right now, we are learning on the job,
Hold
and
on, hold on.
And
Mhm.
but we've done a
There was a pretty
fantastic
big
job
pandemic in the
in general.
'60s. There was a pandemic in the '60s.
The Spanish flu.
No,
no, no,
it was the
the Spanish flu was 100 years ago.
'60s was fuck. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called.
But in general, the world
But
has
I know
not done
what
bad. You know,
Red John is
there's
saying. It makes sense. What you're saying makes sense.
there's a very small amount of people that died, and when you look at them as statistics, it's cold. You know, but it's not. It hasn't been that bad.
You know the thing about that you said. There's a lot of people that died. It's you can say that, and you can say, well, so therefore all of these things didn't happen. But then, what do you tell the families who actually have had people that
That's what I'm
died?
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. In my family, nobody died, and I don't know anybody that died. And that's what I said. Uh, when you look at it as a statistic, it's cold to think of it that way because there's people that lost
But
their
I know
close
so
ones.
many people who've had family members die
I've
because
had
of
a
COVID.
I've had family members that
Yeah.
too.
So it's not like
Yeah,
it's not just as easy, man. Like you see a
Sorry to hear
different,
that, Mustafa. Very sorry
yeah.
to hear that.
It's a different perspective when you see people's
it,
reaction to losing a loved one because of
it
this.
seemed
Like,
like people with compromised immune system were like targeted almost.
yeah, but
Sorry to hear that, Mustafa.
And
Next.
and guys, one of the other problems with COVID too, I don't know how it was in like Europe and stuff, but in the United States, if you died, even if you died, and even if it wasn't due to like you had like a bad immune system, they still attributed COVID to that death and inflated those numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the part where
So
people
like
are trying to make money of it. That's the control thing
right,
when they try to inflate it. This
so like
happened, but I don't think it's the in the they blew it up out of proportion, way
Look,
too much.
I
yeah,
think the question.
because
Well, they blew
I
it
don't
up.
know how many cases were I don't know how many cases were actual pure COVID
Yeah,
cases
and
and
that was
what
another
was a
thing.
case where someone
That
already had it
It's
that's
and
hard
it
to
another.
was
know.
just
I
That was
attributed
heard
to
another.
that.
Guys, the
hospitals were
hospitals.
getting $40,000
Right.
for
The
every
hospital will
patient
get.
that died.
We're getting money. That makes it very dodgy.
Exactly.
That makes it very dodgy.
yeah, but
This is
guys,
how
but
people are making money out of it.
I,
Like
I understand, but
almost everybody
guys,
is.
but you are making everything in the U.S. context. But this pandemic is global, man. The hospitals in Germany don't get money because get paid by the state. In France,
Yeah,
they
but
don't get money; they
And
get
that's
paid by
why
the
I
state.
said
I-
Wait.
that's
In
Hold
the
on.
that's
Hold on.
why I
What do you mean
said
they
Bridget.
get paid by the
That's why
states?
the bill of the hospital is paid by the government. It's universal healthcare, so the government does not let you fool them just like that. Oh,
Well,
oh, okay.
yeah, but
That's
this is
why
and
that's why I
and
said
no
the
one
United States is
and no
different.
one profits from a doctor writing. I did today 30 vaccines, but he actually didn't, or shit like that. Get
no,
it?
no,
Like,
no, no, no. I don't know. I know that in Italy it's like this, and in the US that if like you have a patient that passes away from COVID, you get a certain amount of money. in the
In the
hospitals.
hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if how it is in Germany. I mean, in Germany, it's still taxpayers' money, I guess. You could say.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's here.
But
but
no, the
it's
U.S. has
Guys,
the
listen,
biggest,
listen,
the
listen. First
largest
of all, let's
economy.
just listen, Mustafa. My condolences for you, man. I'm really sorry to hear this. Um, sorry for your loss, my man.
yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Like, holy shit.
That stuff.
Uh, when it comes to this pandemic, man, the question to me is this: was it natural
Real
or
quick,
did
Roy.
it come
Roy,
out of
hold on, Roy.
what?
Before you continue,
Yeah.
I want to continue off of what Mustafa said. My one of my sergeants, his brother got the shot, and with an almost I don't know how quick it was, but maybe like a week or so, he started getting blood clots in his throat,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
like
My
he
my
almost
my
passed.
my mom got the exact same thing. She got 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
She
so
had to be hospitalized.
My grandma
Uh,
also.
but that was directly
yeah,
from
like
the vaccine. That was
That was
directly from the
the
vaccine.
John
right.
and Jones, I think. The one, it was only one that was causing
But
that.
when you take the vaccine, they give you a piece of paper. I have it right here. Actually, I still have it.
Yeah.
That says you have a percentage of getting these kind of side effects, and some of those side effects
Yeah.
are blood clot. And when you get these, you are in the 1 or 2 or 3 6%. But it's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
six
It's
percent
a
Yeah,
of
six
billions.
percent of a
it's a
billion people. You're
liability
right.
thing.
That's a huge number still.
It's still a very big number.
That's why no matter what way you slice it, people are gonna die. It's hard
Yeah,
to
but
think
no,
of
no,
it, but
man.
it's cold. But I mean, Dre John, it is what it is, man. Like if you look
No,
at the world like a virus,
but man, but
I'm
this
not
is
saying I'm not saying we
this is
should
the way
not help it.
lions behave, man. Behave, man, not
And
humans.
and Red
Like
John, how has each
lions are
pandemic
like,
been
oh fuck
handled
it,
each time?
he
The thing,
died, whatever.
But
But
John,
Red
look,
John,
do
but
how
this
has
is
each
guys.
pandemic
what can you
been
do if
handled?
people dying? Like you
But
can't stop that.
but
No,
this
You
is
you
the
can help
case
it,
with
but you can't
man,
every
stop it.
medicine, though, guys. This is the case
guys,
with all
guys,
medicines.
this is like having a loved one with a bad, I don't know, sickness, and you are in the US, and you are like, he has to die, man. Fuck it. Why should I take a loan to try and save his life? Fuck it, man. Everyone dies. Just let him die.
No,
This is so
that's not what.
crazy to me because you are like, oh, people have to die. Let's just get the
No,
virus.
I'm not saying they have to die. I'm not saying we should not
No,
help it. But
no,
but
you
but can you disagree with that? Can you just because people die every time there is something tragic that happens worldwide, people die. It's
sure,
like
man,
this
sure,
is not
but
news.
this does not mean you just stop trying to
That's
lower
not
the
what I'm
number
saying.
of people who die.
That's not what
You
I'm
do
saying.
you and me and everyone in the globe as the member of the society created by it's our job, man, to do everything necessary to stop even one person from dying
But but Ray
that
John,
that gets
we
that gets caused
do
by
you think
our
Hold
Ray
on,
John,
I have
actions,
a
man.
que-
This
I
is
have a
we
question.
this is
contribute to that every day, regardless if
Hold on,
there's a
I have a question for Red John.
coronavirus or not. We contribute to people dying somewhere else in the world. Every day we live in a Western society, we contribute to somebody else dying
yes,
in another part of the world.
and this X amount of people die. Now, if I can save another one who is not
You
related to,
can stop buying phones,
uh,
stop buying technology. You can. There
Hold on,
wouldn't be
hold on,
any
hold
people
on,
in
hold on, hold
sweatshops
on. I have
trying
a
to kill
question for
themselves
John because I'm not.
in
I'm not.
China.
I have a question for Red John. But Red John, it
mhm.
doesn't this discussion also happen on, like, for example, the vaccine? The vaccine. There is a percentage of people that will die from the vaccine.
Yeah,
So does that argument not also apply to that?
no, but listen, if you do a heart surgery, you have a next like it's within the margin of error, and after that, you have a possibility to die. Even if you do your appendix surgery, you
Yeah,
have an X% chance
Right,
to
right.
die.
I know.
Even
All medicines is like that. It's the same thing with all medicines.
even
I
if
understand.
you remove a tooth, okay, you have an X
yeah.
percent possibility to die, right? And these are chances that you have to take in order for you to sleep at night, so that the tooth doesn't hurt the whole fucking night, right? So statistically, mathematically, you have to do it. in order, even though 0.006% of the people who take the vaccine have a risk or could have fatal consequences of the vaccine, you have to think of the other 1 billion people that have to get to live now because of the vaccine.
So
It's
you're
not the
still,
same.
but you're still willing to sacrifice a few for the greater good.
But
You're accepting that, right?
Well,
sure, yeah, sure.
I mean, in the end, it's kind of the same thing. I
It's
mean,
not.
at
It's not
different
though.
scales. I understand the
Yeah,
scales, but it's similar.
yeah, but
we
the
I don't know
scales
why is
is
it
all that
COVID?
matter though.
It's not exclusive for COVID though. Like in a Western society, everything you do every day, somebody else in another part of the world makes it possible for you. Somebody that has a worse life. Like we can contribute to helping people if we decide to not buy technology or phones or laptops and contribute to this consumer economy
Yeah, man,
because
but
somebody else in
and
China is doing it
and
for
it's
a
still
dollar
and
a
it's
day
still and it
and they
still is
want to
not the
kill
same.
themselves every
And
day.
still it's not the same, man.
What do you mean it's not the same? If you help one person in China to not kill themselves in those sweatshops, 0.00001%, then you should not buy a phone. That's
But
your argument with the
no, man, no. My argument is pretty simple. You not doing the, in my opinion, or the what the best minds of the medical uh, global association, whatever, decided to do. You follow these steps in order to avoid people dying unnecessarily, right?
hmm
Oh, now the way I see it is pretty simple. You restrict something in your life, and by doing that, you uh, uh, have the chance to not infect some people who would have otherwise been infected and died as a
Yes,
consequence. Right?
yes,
So for me, this is pretty simple. Now, making it generally as if this is the same as a kid in Africa or a kid in Asia that is working to produce your iPhone. It's not the same, man. It's not the same thing. We are talking about two totally different things. First of all, if you talk about a kid in Africa who's being I don't know used by a big corporation in order for them to pay less for the working force, whatever, has to do
yes,
with the country itself. Has to do with the country this kid has the misfortune to be born in, that does not protect its own citizens. You buying the product is of course also a reason why that kid is being the word is not coming. Is being
Exploited.
yeah.
exploited,
We get it. We
exactly,
get it.
exploited by this company. But the problem is that kid also has a job because you buy that phone.
Yeah, but John, what, $1 a day is not a job. These kids,
I
not
understand
kids,
it, man.
just people that work in sweatshops.
I understand that,
They
but
want to jump
a
out.
dollar a day is better than no dollar a day.
Look, if somebody is trying to jump out of their window to kill themselves because they don't want to do that anymore, I don't think that's a better deal. Because that's what people in sweatshops do,
I,
and they have
yeah,
nets
but are
to
you?
keep them alive,
Yeah, but
to keep
are
to
you?
return for them to return to work. But look,
Are you?
I,
Are you
I understand
comparing?
your point. I
Are you
understand your point.
comparing the
Yeah.
But
numbers of that
I understand.
to the
Look,
numbers of people who died of COVID?
no, but if
Yeah,
you're
but again,
saying
those numbers were inflated.
if you're saying a mask helps 0.00, if you stop buying a phone, you would contribute directly
No.
to them
Yes,
their life being better. If us as a society, as you would do with masks,
but no, man.
would con-
I'm sorry, you are wrong. Me not buying a phone means the company Samsung goes from Indonesia and does
yeah,
not
but
produce
the company
anymore in
doesn't
Indonesia,
sell
and now that kid is jobless,
the
and his family does not get that $1 an hour, which is wrong
no, it's not a
by
dollar an hour, it's $1 a day.
$1 a day, man. 7 times that is what people do in Albania, man. Why are you making it be as if you get $10 a day in Albania? Are people getting? People are still living. It's just how economy works. You are not as rich as Germany to do $12 a day as minimum, an hour as minimum. you live in an economy which is not as good. Therefore, people get have the companies can exploit their people. This is how it works. Like I understand that it should be better, but
Companies exploit their people because of the demand or the culture. Because you don't really need a phone to
yes,
live.
yes, no, well, that's debatable. But
Look,
I,
look,
Well,
I
look,
well, if
understand
you
that.
want to live in
guys,
the modern
guys,
world, yeah.
guys,
30
check it out.
years ago, you
Like,
wouldn't need one.
I think Florent, these countries there, obviously the country, the laws, the government is doing a bad job at protecting their people. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
Because these companies should be paying these people a more dignified wage, even though
Okay.
in some countries, like a dollar you can actually survive over in a dollar, but measly. You're poor.
Yeah.
You live in the slums. Um,
Yeah.
and they should definitely do something to fix that. Countries
I
should
know.
the governments, but these countries are
Guys,
corrupt.
you,
Now the question is the moral question. Florian is asking you: buying their product, you are pushing the corruption of this country. I think there is also truth in that.
yeah, and I understand that 100%. The problem is that company that goes to that country, it goes to that country exactly because the country has that problem, or in the point of view of the firm, that's opportunity. The fact that this company does not have to pay Nathan or Yogin in Europe or the US $15 an hour, he can employ another guy on the other side of the world who can do the same exact job for
Yeah.
$1 an hour.
Yeah. But,
If
yeah.
if these people wouldn't be paid this uh, little money, then these companies wouldn't have gone there, and you would have to pay more for your shirt and for your phone. Get what I'm
No,
saying?
you
So
wouldn't. You wouldn't. The
what?
company that the money that the company saves from not paying the workers in the U.S. but paying them in China instead, they don't spread it to like it's not that that money trickles down to the people. Like they accumulate that.
Yeah, but I
It
understand
Go,
that.
goes
it
to
goes
less
into
people.
the pockets of
More
certain.
money goes to less people. You know.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's also a fact that the you can go to the store tomorrow and buy a T-shirt for $2 for $1, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that T-shirt that you buy for $1, it's absolutely impossible for the company to give you a $1 shirt if the dollar is produced in the US or in Germany or in the UK. It's just impossible for them to do
Yeah.
that. Every time you buy a cheap cloth, a cheap product,
I can
it's
think of a
big.
dollar shirt though. I don't think I
No,
ever seen.
I can actually. There's like a Primark, like a store here. You can go there and buy two, three, $4 shirts
In
all the
Germany?
time. Like, yeah, like Primark it's called.
Oh yeah.
I think it's everywhere to be honest. Like they have like super cheap, and you, every time you buy there, you know for sure that there was a kit being used in a very poor country, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to offer you and make profit from a shirt that costs $1.
Just my point, John, is that I think a life
Thank
is
you.
sacrificed somewhere in the world. For us to live this kind of a life that we do in the West, somebody has to sacrifice
You know what,
their lives.
guys? What Mustafa is saying is in China they go to work willingly, where in Africa they force kids into mining. It's actually a hierarchy because Africa they force the kids into mining the products that then go to China, and those people go to work and get the $1 an hour. It's a pretty messed up system.
Yeah, man. Look, my opinion in this has always been whatever you see the immigrants migrating, that's where that's where is the shit. That's where the shit is. No, you don't see anybody going to China for a better life. It just is what it is. Everybody goes to the West, and that tells yeah, that could tell you what should be. Because I think what John was talking about the mentality, the clash of mentality when we were talking about Russia and the rest earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really think that these countries that have these very easily corrupt politicians that are very easy swayed, and then
Me and Red John, we come from those countries.
yeah,
You
these
know
countries
exactly.
have a complete opportunity to have fair wages for everybody and raise the standard of living. They can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
100%,
it's
100%. If
it,
they work for the people more, at least.
But money talks, guys. Money talks.
but it's something that has to be done. You have to give it time. You cannot just wake up a day and expect for it to
And
get
that
Yeah,
in
but
is true.
reality.
And
over,
that is true also. That is true also. That
overall,
is
it
true
gets
also.
better. Overall, it gets better
It
for
always gets
everybody.
better and better, right?
Yeah, I hope that's how we go. But
Yeah.
it sucks for somebody.
Listen, I want to kind of take the conversation back to the COVID thing. The question that I have about COVID is this: was this virus really um, natural? Came from the wet market, as we're saying, or was it released out of
I
a
mean,
lab?
I think it's been proven that it was from a lab.
Well, it has been proven that that virus was in a lab, but it hasn't been proven whether it was released on purpose, whether
Oh,
was released by
well,
accident.
that we never gonna know.
And this is the problem. Because if it was released on purpose, then everything that is happening is really fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, if you,
But we don't know. We don't know because if it really is a mistake, then that should be said.
yeah, but
If it came out of the web market, then it's part of
well,
nature,
the
and we
real
have to deal
question is why create such thing, even if it came out of in a mistake. Why do you do it?
biological warfare.
Yeah, it's like the new atomic bomb.
I mean, biological warfare is part of war. It's one of the instruments of war.
But I, aimed at whom? Because I don't think there's any
At,
country
at
that
your
would get.
enemies, or it's even a bigger plan. It's even much bigger.
But yeah,
But
but this is like
this is
No,
this
this
we
is
is
just
all
entered
speculation. Now. This is all
this
we
is just
just entered
speculation.
speculation.
the conspiracy theory territory.
Right now,
It's like
but it's questions that you have to ask yourself. You can't know for sure, so operating on something that you don't know for sure doesn't make any sense. But the question is, if this is all released on purpose and there's someone behind it, it's all engineered.
Yeah, somebody should take responsibility.
yeah, someone
Now,
should go to jail, and the country should.
but
But
obviously, it's not more than just one person, right?
No, no.
It's
If no,
it's a government.
if
It's going to be a
no, no.
government.
Yeah, exactly. If this was planned and everything, then it's a government's doing, and then this
And
government has to
that's
take.
such a dirty game because that's what you always see happening when the U.S. gets into any war. Is that, oh yeah, they attacked us first. Oh yeah, and always a reason to get into war. So even if we're never gonna know because that's how it's gonna play out.
that's the
Somebody's
thing.
gonna believe that they're just saying that because they want to get into war to benefit this and this and that, or is it really true?
Man, the U.S. is gonna figure it out, man. The U.S. is the police of the world.
They're gonna
So
figure it out.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I hope
If
so, but
if someone did it, the U.S. is gonna figure it out, and it's gonna go there and give them some freedom. Okay.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of messed up when you think of it that way.
well, I don't know. I don't know. It depends who's behind it. But again, guys, this is all if, right? Because it could have really just been either an accident or it's true that it came out of nature, guys. Because
it's
I don't know for sure, and I don't think anyone does.
most probably, in my super ignorant opinion, it's something that came out of nature. I don't think anyone profited from this.
Yeah.
Well,
Countries
Um.
lost.
hold on. But that's
Countries.
1 second,
Mhm,
1 second, Reggie. I gotta say something that Larry
mhm.
says. I gotta stop you right there. Uh, but people did profit out of it. That is a fact.
But
It has been the
guys,
biggest transfer of wealth in the history
yeah,
of
yeah,
humankind.
guys. But no one gives a shit about money, guys. It's about
Money,
political power. Like no
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
but that's how you
no
buy
one.
political power with money.
No, yeah, yeah, but it's not that simple, man. It's not that simple because money, like money in this instance, some companies getting some more money cannot come through a virus that fucks up the whole fucking planet. and the government somehow know nothing about. Like this is
Mm,
some James Bond shit, man. Like
sure,
you
but
get it?
you have to see, but you can't just avoid the fact that there were a very select few corporate, you know, that that they got to keep their money, and they actually got to make the money of other people because of it. So
But
I
some
don't
of some of
know
that
if
is
it's
fair.
I don't know if it's natural or not.
But
I don't
guys,
know, but
So some
it
of
is.
what
You
you
can
said
ask
was
questions. You can ask questions.
yeah. But some of what you said is fair. Some of the wealth transfer is fair because it wasn't meant to be in a malicious way or on purpose. Because they gave us stimulus checks or whatever. What did people do? They all
Well,
went to Amazon
they
and bought
invested in
stuff.
stocks.
in
No,
Yeah,
in the
some
Well,
people did,
U.S.
but most of the
in the
people spent it. They spent it. They bought the new iPhone. They bought this, and where all that money goes, it goes to Apple. It goes to
oh
Amazon. It
my
goes to the
god,
big shops.
right,
so,
exactly.
so the
Exactly.
big
It was it monopolized the economy. There
Yeah,
was a big
but it's
monopoly of
fair.
the economy.
It's fair. Like it's not something malicious. Like they gave you the money,
Well,
you went and spent it.
this is the thing. If it came from a natural event, then yes, that is a good argument. But
Oh no no. I
if
mean,
it
it doesn't
didn't,
matter. It doesn't matter. People are gonna take advantage of it regardless of where it came from.
Yeah.
yeah, but these, I mean, if you look at, for example, those three giants there, their revenue increased by billions and billions and billions. Like
Yeah.
those five people now are some of the richest people. And those are the people that are funding the media.
They
So
have
there is that you can ask questions. That's all I'm saying. You
yeah
can
no
ask
for sure
questions.
for sure.
Those
Some
are
of
the
it is
people
just
that are
ridiculous.
making everybody believe what to believe, because they're the ones that you
That's
watch.
that's the kind of
You
control.
watch
When
the
I said
news.
control, that's what I meant.
When you watch the news, what's the ad right after the piece? It's you're always going to
Uh,
have the
CNBC
farmer
is always Pfizer.
farmer.
CNBC is always is sponsored by Pfizer all the time.
There are three big economies that rule this planet: the pharmaceutical, the energy, and and the war machine. And these guys are not the most good natured
Conscious.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but but
that
somehow somehow it's an e-commerce company that is the biggest of them all, right? Isn't it Amazon the biggest?
no, I think Apple is right now. I
No,
think
but Apple, I think it's brand worth, right? Or
no, as a
the
company, as like market cap, what they have, I think Apple is the most valuable right now. But
really?
Amazon is there. Yeah, Amazon is one of the largest.
Yeah, it's actually Apple. Holy shit!
If you look at their stock during 2020, it skyrocketed. It's not a small company to move that much. That was billions of dollars flowing into their market cap because everybody spent their money to Amazon. Their earnings exploded.
And by the way, I love Amazon, guys.
I mean, you can't hate it. How can you hate it?
But it is what it is. It is true. Amazon has become a huge monopoly thanks to this. But I actually really dig Amazon, to be honest with you. And I guess you can sell your products through. You can have your shop through Amazon. Amazon just gets a cut.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
provide the service. Uh,
man.
but
What is that delivery one day or the next day delivery? You can't beat that.
or same day.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even go to the grocery store. It's easier to just do it on your phone. Somebody brings it to your door.
you know what? The only negative aspect of it is that it bottlenecks the people that will influence power, because these people are going to have so much money that it's going to be almost impossible to reach them.
But
And
what
it's
do you
going
guys think is gonna happen? That because when I think of that, I always think universal income because there is no other way. I feel like that's gonna be the solution.
How did you go from right to now being a leftist, man? What the
Huh?
hell? How did you go from being Are
I
we,
think no,
No, it's when Roy was saying
I
that all the
think
money is gonna go
it's
to one
something
place.
that will probably happen.
What'd you say to Red John? I didn't hear it.
how did you go from having right side views to having left side views? Because the universal payment is
Well,
like so super.
you're allowed, Red John. You're allowed to
Yeah,
be on both sides.
I know. I'm kidding.
Okay, okay. I thought you were fucking with me,
No,
like
But
you've been doing.
no.
right,
I was kidding. Like
but
that's
guys, think about it. Like it will probably that's where it will go.
Well, if
yeah, but
who knows?
in my opinion, the universal payment is more dependent on how humans can make use of machines in order not to work
Yeah,
than
And
than
that's a big
just
part of it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
because you already see all the money flowing to one place. Once the robots come, that it's just going to be multiplied. So then you have to do something with all these people that are not working, or
Yeah,
you
but
don't need them to work.
The more the economy will monopolize, the more they'll have to create a system that just
But
gives people.
how
but
dangerous is that? Because I don't trust the government now, and
Well,
when
but that's a problem because
you give
if
them all that power, it's crazy.
and that's what.
That and then how do you determine how
Listen,
much each
guys,
person gets to spend?
I wanna ask you a
I mean,
question.
that's gonna
When
be
you
a
have some,
long.
like, it's about isn't it maybe about consolidation of power?
What's that, Roy? Can you say it again?
Consolidation of power. That's just a natural thing that people do. They want to consolidate their power. You want to consolidate your wealth. You want to become wealthier. It's all about consolidation. So the people that get to that level where they influence everything, they're going to do their best to consolidate what they have.
yeah, yeah,
And
but guys, we have had kings, man, kings that could tell you you are gonna die and they would kill you right away. And society has still removed kings, replaced them. It's not you are making it as if there's like a throne, and if someone makes money, he sits on the throne and he's there to dictate everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no,
it
well,
is kind of
no,
like that. Yeah.
I don't think of it that way. But I don't think of them as our um like I don't think they're the people that you should trust like that
No,
for
I,
with your freedom or with your life.
I
I
think
don't look at them like, oh, this is my mom and dad. No,
yeah,
either.
but I just think politics is the most important, more important than the company. It's more important than the guy that is ready to provide you money in order
But why?
to corrupt
What's
you.
the end goal? What's the end goal?
Because politics is sets the stones on the ground for companies to follow. If tomorrow there's a law in the US that no one is allowed to have wealth that exceeds the 500 million euros, no one is going to have more than 500 million euros starting from the next day.
Yeah, but the issue with that, Rajan, is that once these companies go to the parties of the same politicians and they get in that same group of people, the
Mhm.
elites or whatever, then there's mutual influences, mutual interest, and then that's when it starts to get dodgy. It's not so. I feel it seems to me like it's not so good natured as maybe some people think it is. I think there's a lot of self interest in the way things are being done. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just asking questions.
Well, you always should. It's not good when then you could just follow blindly like that. It's been proven in history that it hasn't been the best idea for people to follow people blindly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that because people do shady things, and it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's in us.
It's
Like
in
that's
our
never gonna
nature.
go away.
It's in our nature. And when you are sitting on a pot of gold, you might do some
Yeah,
crazy things to protect that pot of
exactly.
gold.
Once you have some power, like these people, people with power, they're power hungry. That's what gets them going. I mean, I'm assuming because I'm talking
Yeah,
like I know
I
these
can only
people.
imagine. I can only imagine. And also, we've seen it in history,
But
and we
but
still
you
see it.
try it in real life too sometimes, because it changes you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like even in smaller levels, it affects you, and you can't imagine waking up tomorrow and having like billions of dollars, you can influence politicians. Like,
Right.
what would you do?
Yeah, that's what you would do because we see it happen. We see that these people do it.
But honestly,
I
I
just
like
don't know.
to.
What I don't know for sure is whether it's done with ill intent or good intent. That's just the questions. I don't know. That's what I don't know. I don't
It's
know if the
hard to
pandemic
know,
was
man.
for real, for not. I'm just asking questions. That's it.
It's hard to know. If you put it in, if you question everything like that, it literally nothing becomes a fact, you know. But I like to think that it hasn't been. I think um, it's like half half. People try to do their best with what they could, and then there was just another group of people that doesn't give a shit about lives. They just trying to get more power,
And I
and they
think
don't.
that is reality, dude, because let's look at it. That has always been the reality. It's always been history. It's not that people just changed. For 5, 6 thousand years that you can read history books, right? All the events. It's always been the same thing. Then all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that now things are different. The human beings have been the same. What drives human beings has been the same for
Exactly,
10,000 years or
exactly. We haven't evolved like that. Technology has. Technology has out evolved us by miles, and we live in this society now. It's like this has never been done before. You know, you can tell the difference how the world changes with 5 years or 10 years. It's crazy. Like 10 years ago, how much different the world was. It's only 10 years.
But guys, why are you making it seem to be as if this was the first global pandemic that has ever happened in history? If you just take
no,
a
there are
take
many. There are many. There've been
I
many.
think I think in
take
this
a history
environment,
book, take a history book, and you will notice that almost every 100 years there's a pandemic.
you know,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
understand, but
I know that.
not in
and
this environment with media and technology
yeah, man, but
and if the way people
it doesn't
influence the
matter.
other.
The virus does not care if you have media and technology or not. The virus just
No, yeah, it does because
occurs.
you can take advantage of that if you have more tools. You can work
Yes,
it
this is
around.
this is the thing because look, think about it. Like if
Take
you have a
advantage of
part,
that how?
Huh?
Take advantage of that how? In what
Like
way?
what the media is doing with the vaccines and with the masks, and
But how does you wearing a mask like make you exploitable?
it doesn't make me, but it does the person that's if I decide to not wear it, think that I'm a killer. That's
But
what they
okay, but
affect.
let's say you wear it. How are you exploitable now? How does this huge company control you now? Be, because you wore the mask?
Because I wear it, and then you wear it, and then Roy wears it, and
But
everywhere you go, everybody wears it, and
but
then
but
out of a sudden, Corona
okay, but
becomes more
Gotta,
bigger
and then
okay,
the
than
but
it is,
mask,
okay,
and
but
and
right
then you
now,
have to
don't
other
take
forget
four vaccines
and
to
then
other
the
than
masks
still
aren't
get
free
sick
either.
from it.
yeah,
Right now, the masks
but
are not
the
free as
vaccine
well.
the
Like you
vaccine is
still
not
gotta pay for them.
what?
So you're if they're forcing you to wear masks, that means you're being forced to go out and spend money on those masks.
Oh, come on, man.
Roy, let
This,
me just, I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
I
but
hold
mean,
on, let me
is
just
that
ask
this
you this
was
question.
that's
this
Do
true?
you
was
think,
the
do you think
most
that people
American
use,
thing I've ever heard.
do you think the
But Red
media
John,
is
but look
there
at it like this:
to,
if 100 billion people spend $2
I
to
understand
buy,
that,
no, not $2. They're like, first of all, the masks aren't even cheap. They're like $6 for like a pack. So if
guys.
you have
Maybe
2 billion people do that, look how much money that just brought in just one day. Even
I don't know,
maybe
the vaccine?
the companies that produce masks did make the virus.
Red John, do you think the media is there to just inform people
Guys,
of what's going on, or
I think
it's there for
I
all the people to take
I think
advantage of?
you are just seeing it as more than it is, and now all of a sudden I'm going to look like the naive guy who is like, oh, it's
No, not
all
at all, man. We're
flowers
just
and
discussing.
no, but the thing is, I don't think
flowers and
you.
whatever.
I think that
Mhm.
you have your opinion about it, and I respect it.
Yeah,
But I
Yeah, of
think you
course.
you don't know just as much as I do, like about why this happened or how it happened. You can speculate. You can think that it's more this or more that, but at the end of the day, none of us really know.
yeah,
We have to
that,
live with it, and I
yeah,
think it's more important that we live with each other and not get into. So I respect your opinion about it,
yeah.
and
Of
and
course,
it I and it's totally fine.
of course. But the only problem that I have this is here is this that I cannot make the connection between people wearing a mask, even though we know the properties of the mask. We know that the masks have been used for years now in modern medicine when doctors perform surgery, right? So mask is not just some unit that he is making you walk around with, I don't know, with a
Yeah,
lollipop in your
John,
forehead.
if
Like,
I have to go to a restaurant and I can't enter without a mask, but once I sit down inside that same restaurant, I'm allowed to take the mask. That's
yes.
that's
Mhm.
influence from whatever they say. Because that, in theory, I mean, in reality, doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make
But
any sense.
uh, except that it does, in the sense that it does not it reduces the chance of you getting infected by someone who's walking by your table and sniffing, and not sniffing, sneezing.
Oh, come
Okay,
on, Rajon.
Yeah, but
but
Red John, you're still
but
circulating the same air. You're still circulating the same
It's
breathing air.
but
doing
how
the
does it
same.
it doesn't matter, man.
It's
That
like
you are
it's like in it's
circulating.
like you know the Asian culture has been using masks for a long time. But if that same Asian kid comes to school and we're all sitting in the classroom, the chances of someone getting sick is still going to be there. It's still going to be
Yes.
high.
Yes, but the chances are there because kids are gonna hug each other, talk to each other, put their hands on the mouth. It's not because they are in the same room breathing the same air, man.
Yeah, but
Usually, whenever
when
someone
I
goes to
when I
class
use
sick, they don't touch anything else.
when I
That's
use
I
No,
the,
haven't seen no shit like that.
are
I
you sure about that? Because
I use
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty
no,
positive. When
no,
you're sick,
like
they
I
I,
I use the
I haven't been in a classroom yet where people are just, oh, I'm sick, I'm not gonna touch anyone. Like I've seen everything but that
yeah,
already.
that's if you're sick. If you're sick and you're going up and still shaking people's hands, that's selfish.
No, no, but
I've been
uh,
taking the train every day, but I don't really hug anybody. But I
Yeah, like
there's
it just
there's
you just need if you're circulating the same air, it doesn't
there
matter, man. Like the
there's
air is not
ads
getting filtered out.
there's ads in New York City metros that says uh like the first shot, the second shot, the booster, and the mask, and then you just like there's these emojis that starts to be happier once like you achieve all of them, and it's like why would I need to see that? I need three vaccines and one mask. That's the best case scenario.
And then
Three vac.
on top of that, this COVID is now the new flu. So there's going to be a new COVID every 6 months to a year, and a new vaccine that you're going to have to pay to get every year, every single year,
Like the flu, yeah,
just like the flu.
yeah. The
And
flu. There's flu shots
eventually,
when in flu seasons, and then
your body is going to build up its own
yeah,
antibodies.
eventually it's gonna be like the flu when only
but
people that are afraid of it that it might damage them they go take the flu shot. They don't want to
yeah,
put
but
themselves at risk. They
yeah, but
go take it and they pass the season.
exactly, yeah. And this is how COVID is gonna become as well.
I
It's
hope
already
it's
become
soon, man,
that.
because I'm done with this shit, man. I
It's
swear to God.
already become that.
You're fatigued. You got fatigued out.
Oh, a long time ago, man.
Yeah, you're fatigued due to COVID. That's why.
I hope it's probably never going to be the same. I just hope something similar so that when you go outside and you just feels like before COVID a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's gonna. I don't know, guys. Actually, I don't
My
know, guys. I
Yeah,
my
don't know
wife
how
had
long it's
my
gonna
none of
go.
us
my
know,
wife
man. You're just
already
talking
my
shit.
wife already had COVID, and I literally was sitting there, trying to take care of her, kissing her, blah blah blah. We never went to the hospital or anything like that, and I never even caught it. Not only breathing the same air, but kissing her as well.
Yeah, I
So
know
so
that.
now
I
so
know.
should I be punished?
Actually, that is something that I've seen many times in anecdotal situations, not in
Yeah,
general
yeah,
situations. So I don't know the full data of this. I want to try and be as correct as I can, but there are a lot of situations in which, like, one family member gets it
yes,
and they all
yeah.
live
I
in the
was just
same
gonna say,
space, and
yeah,
then the
that
other
that.
people don't get it at all.
Yeah, but
No, yeah, well, I
yeah,
heard of people that one of them got it and then everybody else gets it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But because we didn't get the antibodies, even though she got sick, she's now building up her own immunity to where
yeah,
that
but
the shot isn't gonna even gonna do nothing for her.
Yeah, but Nathan, the antibodies don't really work like that in a virus
The
because
virus doesn't work. The shot doesn't even help you all the way. If the shot was 100% guaranteed to work and you're not going to get it, that is one thing.
no,
But the fact that people who are getting shots are
No,
the
but
damn
Nathan,
the
it doesn't
damn
prevent from getting it. It doesn't
but
prevent you from getting it. It just helps
that
Nathan,
you
and
fight
that's
it
the
better.
point, Florent, and that's the point. They
yeah,
advertise
but
this shot as if once you get it, you're good to go.
no, man.
They never even made a
Yeah,
disclaimer saying that if you get it, you still have a chance of getting it. They didn't even say that.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
come on, man.
But I'm telling you, in the
That's
United
said
States, they
everywhere,
did
man.
not. Okay, then. So that's another way of them fucking getting more
I
money
think
from you.
I think Red John would agree with us more. I think it's just because he's in Europe, and I would assume it plays a little different over there
No, but
with the vaccine. I
maybe
don't think I
I
don't think it's the same
Yeah, the
I
U.S.
in
is
the US.
could
very
be.
different when it comes
Exactly.
to
And
the
like
way
you
this
said, Red
place
John,
is.
you don't, the Red John, he said that the people, that they don't get a penny from you going to the
Well,
hospital to get the
Yeah,
shot, this and that. In the United States, it's you pay everything, bro.
to be
do
fair,
you
Red John,
actually wait? Do you actually have to pay in order to get the vaccine? No, right?
So,
no.
No,
some places they pay. You got to pay to get
I mean,
tested.
Yeah,
yes,
but I
it's
mean, you
your
still
money,
pay.
Vin. It's
Yeah,
your
it's
money,
tax
Vin.
money.
But
You
but
still
but
paying for it.
you don't go there every day and here this. But you do pay for tests if you don't have insurance,
Yeah, you,
or you have to pay insurance to get the test.
Okay.
which is
Yeah,
backwards because why would you need to pay for a test when you can get the vaccine for free?
because
You
with
see how
test
stupid
Because
that sounds?
with testing, you need testing for certain situations.
But there's also a thing that in Europe, like for example, I think in Germany, how much taxes are you paying, Rich, in
uh,
Germany? What's the tax rate?
around 45%.
So in the U.S., it's like
Yeah,
lower twenties. You know.
No, no, in
yeah,
the U.S., somewhere in the U.S., not in California
Well,
and New
it
York.
yeah,
depends. Yeah, it depends,
yeah.
but
But
it will never get close to 40. It's going to
yeah,
be in the
the
30s,
Yeah, it's high
if anything.
30s, I think, California and New York City.
but
No, 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 not in California.
the
But
thing
in
is
New
that
York,
I still find me paying a little bit more taxes okay, man, because you get the
Right, right, right.
university for your kids for free or not for free. You have
yes,
already paid for it.
yes,
Like I have an example of the brother of my best friend had cancer since he was like 22 years old, and he's been fighting with the cancer thing for 7 years. And if he adds the bills that he would have gotten all these years, it would have cost around $3 million. Where the fuck would he have found $3 million, man? Get it? Like he would have died now because he didn't have enough money. That image in my head. This is how I don't understand the fact that in the US, if you somehow get sick, man, you not only are sick, but you have to somehow find fucking $3 million or you die. Like that for me is such a fucking
Well,
scary
But have
concept,
you
man.
seen how?
I think that's a little. It's not. It's not really true. It's a little bit of a myth.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that.
I don't think you're done if you get cancer and you don't have money.
Yeah, yeah. They're
I don't think it's
they're
completely
gonna.
like that.
Yeah, there's programs for things like that. But if you want to do more simple things like having a child, then we start talking about real money.
What do you mean?
But what do you
Right.
mean?
Hey, as in terms of going to the hospital to do something that is a natural like part of life.
Oh, right, right. I think it's $20,000, right?
Like
What?
it's an absurd amount of
Yeah,
money that you have to pay to have a baby,
yeah.
and
Wait,
then you
wait, wait,
got to
wait, wait.
pay. Then you got to pay at least I can't remember. It's like anywhere between like $400+ just to see your baby in the hospital. The same baby you
Oh,
gave birth to, you got to pay money to see them in the hospital. Like, bro,
Yeah,
it's incredible how much money you got to spend here, bro.
it's real messed up about this, and it's like that. It still comes down to the corporates. The corporates making money.
Yeah.
The big pharma.
But it
But
So
also
that
comes
and
down. It also comes down to the fact that here in the U.S., like this idea, people want to pay low taxes, so they don't want to pay
oh yeah,
45%
yeah,
tax.
yeah,
Be-
yeah, and
That's
it's
exactly
hard. It's just hard. It's hard to do something with 400 million people, with something that you do with 50 or something. It's a
because the
very different.
the politicians that want to implement that kind of stuff, there are many here, but they never
Yeah.
win the elections. They never win the elections.
Yeah,
So it's always the ones that
yeah,
have
but
lower taxes and
it's always the crazies. Like no politician came in with like a reasonable plan with raising taxes. Almost all of them that came in so far are just like, what the fuck are you talking? Like they're gonna get all of your money almost, and like you give out way too much with that tax increase. So I don't think it's impossible, but it hasn't been the right people yet.
but of course the other thing is that obviously the U.S. would have the funds to do that anyway. I mean, they could probably find the funds.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I
I don't
think
know about that.
because of the standard of living the way it is in the U.S. And we compare with Germany or those Scandinavian countries, it's almost similar. So you should be able to do it. I guess the largest economy in the world.
Don't
But
misquote.
I
I might.
heard,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I heard in the U.S. the number one cause of homelessness is the hospital bills, like
Oh,
the
really?
medical bills.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
people can't
Yeah.
pay.
It's by far the number one because I've seen the statistics.
It's crazy, man.
Wow.
That's sad.
But even taking an ambulance, getting a ride in an ambulance is going to cost you arm and a leg.
Yeah.
I
Just
had
to
a,
go
I,
5 minutes to the hospital, bro,
Yeah,
in an
man. I
ambulance.
had a story. I had a friend come to the States from back home to visit, and he passed out, like close to the apartment building, and one of their friends called the ambulance. Worst mistake they ever did. He just passed out. It was like it was too hot or something. He had to
Yeah.
pay. He got a bill like $7,000 or something
Oh my
in the mail.
Yeah,
days.
bro. The other, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was dropping fuel at a gas station, and this guy tripped over the hose at the pump, and he broke his ankle. The the paramedic that showed up first was like from the uh, like the fire department. He said, do you have someone to take you to the hospital? Because if you take the ambulance, you're gonna pay too much money for this.
Yeah,
The paramedic told the guy who was in pain, don't
yeah.
go in the ambulance because it's gonna
Holy
cost too
shit.
much.
Yeah, man, I heard that before. People getting into
Yeah,
accidents and not calling the ambulance just because it costs so much. It's crazy, man. It's
yeah.
crazy.
But to be honest, isn't this system like kind of fucking weird, man? It's so weird for me to
Yeah,
be
no,
honest. Like,
it's
Well,
like
I mean, the insurance companies here are one of the big corporations that uh, influence politics. So insurance is a huge
yeah,
business here. It's a huge
yeah.
business.
they're
Very,
not they don't have competition. They could jack up the prices as much as they
the
can.
pharma industry,
Yeah.
the insurance companies, there's so much lobbying power. So I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna change. But
I,
the other thing is that people don't want it. So, there are many people here in the U.S., millions, like maybe even more than half the country, that would rather pay less in taxes.
yeah, I understand. Everyone wants to pay less taxes, but the thing is, when you know that you paying a little bit more taxes benefits everyone in the society, why won't you do it? Just
Because
because?
that's because the people uh, who are considered as wealthy do not want people who are less, less income and what that have the same benefits and accessory to things as they do.
Hmm. But
If you think about it, if if you guys are all paying the same taxes and someone is able to get the exact same thing as you, and you make, you know, $30,000 to $40,000 more than them, that they're thinking, well, this is not fair. I should be able to have still more than them.
But Nathan, it's not only the rich. You're right. Like obviously the rich people,
I think
rich,
it's the middle
but
the
the middle
the
class too,
upper middle
Oh
class.
yeah,
Like,
but
yeah,
yeah,
not
the
not
middle
just
class
the
too.
not just the upper middle class. It's culture. It's the culture in the whole of
Well,
the
yeah,
United
because
States.
shit, me and my wife get pissed off all the time when we see somebody going to, like, we go to the grocery store and we have a budget, but then we see someone with like food stamps and they come out with half the store in their grocery cart, and we're the ones paying for that essentially. So
Yeah, you're always gonna
so,
have that, Nathan. You
right,
can't help.
right. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things. But you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that yeah.
yeah. The welfare state in America. That's. I mean, that is kind of like the. I guess the social. Uh, social. What do you call it? Safety line that the
Yeah,
U.S. has. The well.
Yeah,
safety
yeah,
nets.
but I think that does a lot of damage to them also, because it leaves them with no motivation of doing more. They secure the food,
Exactly.
they secure the shelter, they give them phones, and they leave very little to motivation of doing more, because they have the essentials, and then why strive for more when you're getting by?
Exactly.
And that's the bad part of it. But I think in society there's a lot of groups of people in when it comes to finance and mentality and all, and you're always gonna have that. So you have to help somebody all the times, almost.
Even
Yeah.
like Red John, you're talking about like the schools and stuff. Like you can pretty much go to school for like college for
Yeah,
free.
Nathan, you
Yeah,
went
It's
to
not free,
military.
yeah,
but
Like you went
yeah.
to
Like
military.
I
How much money goes to military from tax? It's like the most.
a shit ton of
yeah,
like
a
a
shit
shit ton.
ton goes, but it's not. So so the way it is, like a shit ton goes to the military. Yes, obviously a lot of it is primarily weapons, but then after that, it's mainly like the programs that are barely used. So like
Yes.
I could have gone
There's
back to
so
school when
many.
I could have gone back to school in the army, and also the army lies to you a lot. Like they said that they would pay off my student debts. I still owe 27,000 that I'm never gonna pay.
Can you say this
But
publicly, bro?
can I say what?
Can you say this publicly?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Are you
Uh,
allowed to say that, Nathan? We don't want
It's
the
fine.
CIA to come there, bro.
No,
hey, hey,
that's no, that's not.
no. Trust me, trust me. No, this is the when they tell you that the recruiters they lie a lot, and they like some of the army songs. They tell you these things, but you think they're just funny, but that some of this shit is true. But I could have gone to school, but when you ask to do these things, and that means you're gonna have time away from your unit, and then your unit gets pissed off because you're taking time away to better yourself, and you're put in extreme amount of stress. It's different from going, being at work and then going to school, because when you go to work you don't go out to the field and to where you're not going home every day. You see what I'm saying? Or when you go to work, you don't get a call up saying you're being deployed to Afghanistan or some shit like that,
Yeah.
and still trying to go to school at the same time.
Well, that's what you give out for free school, you know?
Exactly. So the military they do get a lot of money, but there's a lot of programs
But
that are simply just not used because
we
you don't really have time, or it's just like, or really it's just kind of pointless.
but we benefit from that military too, because they use it
Yeah,
to get more money, from
yeah,
somebody else in
Yeah,
the world.
yeah.
yeah,
It's like
But it's still too much
that.
when it comes
th-
to if you don't have insurance to fucking make a test, but your country can fucking erase a
Bomb
whole
the
country in
fuck out of you.
five
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly. Yeah.
this is why I always said to people, like, because I did hometown recruiting when I first got in the army. Like I got randomly selected to do hometown recruiting, and like I would see people like going. Like, we would go to like fast food places, and because those are like where the kids are and shit like that, and they're making like $5, $6. I asked him, was like, do you want to go to school and shit? I can't afford it. And it's like, bruh, like you should literally just, this is the one thing I will say about the army. You should join the army. I feel like everyone should have to join the army and do a
It's
3-year contract, so they can at least go to school
a
and not
good
have to worry
opportunity.
about. Yeah,
Like
it's a good opportunity. Like if I would have thought about it, I would have just joined the army right out of high school, so I can at least get a degree for free.
But you see how they made it? They made it as a career. It's not that you go to the army because you love your country. It's like, I need this shit because I want to go to
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Even me right now, like because I do the trucking job right now. The outside of the army to do this, it's like to do the class is like 3,000 and above. Nobody just has $3,000 laying around to go do a program that you might not, excel in.
Yeah.
And with the army, I was able to do this for free, and now I'm making over like the national average amount that household income brings in, and that's just by myself. So there's a lot of things, but they don't. Those aren't the things that they advertised.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the advertising, the way they do it is like, it makes you think, what's the catch? Because they always mention the good stuff. It's like, it makes you think that it's just too good to be true. What are you taking from me? Because you're giving me too much.
Yeah, and the thing is, what people don't, the one thing that they all understand is what they're giving up is their freedom to do whatever they want. Like I ain't gonna lie, when you're in the army, there's like a lot of like restrictions. There's a lot of things that you can't do. Like I know where my unit is, but I can't say where my unit is because I could get in trouble right now if I say where my people deployed to.
Right.
And the same thing with like COVID. Like luckily I was I was living, in a house when COVID hit. But everyone who was on the base, they were locked in the base the entire time COVID was for the shutdown. Like they couldn't leave the base at all. So those are like some of the things, like when you think about it, that's like that really plays like a psychological effect on whether or not you want to join the army, even if the benefits are really, really good.
It's not for everybody, that's for sure.
So if you join the army and stay there for 2 years, then you get to pick your university, and the army is gonna pay for your.
No, you get the second you go to the army. Well, first you got to get through basic training, then you got to get through AIT because when you go to the army, you pick a department what you want to do. So like I did fuel. You can do. You can go into like mechanic. You can do inventory, like HR type stuff, like paperwork. There's like the army is a big collection of jobs that you can do in the real world, but because you need at least an associate's degree or a skill trade, you wouldn't be able to do it for free. Essentially, the army lets you do it for free. So,
okay, so basically, the university is the army itself, right? It's incorporated in your duty.
In your field, in your field that you wanted to go into, and then once you get out of AIT, you automatically get like you can choose what type of like bill you want for school, but you can start school the second you get out of AIT. Like once you get to your unit, you can say I want to go to school, and they'll be like okay, and then you just go from there.
And they pay for that, right?
Yeah, they pay for that.
Okay.
Hey Nathan, were you deployed anywhere?
I was supposed to deploy to Europe. I was supposed to deploy to Germany a number of times. They took volunteers for Afghanistan, but nah, my unit literally deployed 6 months after I got out of the army, which is it's kind of disappointing because I did want to deploy at least once, but I mean fuck it, it is what it is. I would rather go to Europe by myself compared to being in the army.
Yeah, of course you're restricted from doing stuff.
Yeah.
You want to go to Amsterdam, the red district.
To Amsterdam, and hey guys, Amsterdam, where the real freedom is. Okay.
Yeah, I heard, man. I want to go
Okay?
there one time.
The real freedom, guys. It's all you say. Oh, the land of the free. No, Amsterdam. Man. You can fuck a hooker while the cop is watching you and you are smoking a joint. Now that's
Yeah.
fucking freedom.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Amsterdam sounds like a lot of fun. But yeah,
Nah,
we
it's
went
so
It,
we
fucking
went
awesome.
deep tonight.
Yeah,
it's not bad in the army, though, guys. It really isn't that bad. It's just kids not wanting to, follow someone else's orders. Literally, it's all it is. But like, you can go be how much do you think it costs to be a nurse in America?
How much it
Like,
costs
they go
to
to
be?
they go to school, get the
Oh,
nursing license.
I know
and
it's
all that shit.
expensive. I couldn't tell you a number. I know some
Exactly.
people.
Yeah, if I wanted to, I could have reclassed in the army and been a medic in the army, and I could have got all my certifications for being a nurse for free.
Oh, that sounds like a good deal because I heard nurses make a lot of bread.
Exactly.
To be honest, even this looks kind of weird to me. The fact that for uni and stuff like that, for like to get a degree, you have to pay a shit ton of money, man, in the US.
Yeah, it's a
It's like-
scam, man. It's a scam.
Yeah,
The
it's
university
like-
college is disgusting.
Yeah,
Red John.
and it's like if the first like how, people though have this solved somehow with debts, right? Like you get a debt from the bank and then you pay it after you are graduated.
Sally Mae, bro.
and
Sally
you
Mae.
almost never pay for it. You're so much in debt that it would have been smarter to just never go
To
to
get a
college
trade.
and pick a
So-
regular job.
This system is also kind of scary, man, for me,
Yeah.
or at least like I remember when I first came to Germany, I came to Munich to like learn the language before I would apply for the university, and I remember there was huge, and I mean huge protests from the students in Munich because all the other states in Germany had already abolished the 300 euro fee that you had to pay for the university per semester, which was to me super fucking low. Get it? But the students were furious, man. You have no idea until the land of Bavaria demolished that fee as well, and now
So
the university
it's
is
free?
You pay 300 euros. I pay 300 euros.
That's amazing, man.
For the masters, but you get free transportation in the whole state.
Well, what's the credibility of that university? Like, is it a big name where you could go and get a job easily?
No,
wow, that's amazing, man.
Well, like the third best university in Germany, like University of Cologne.
Red John, it's funny. The books alone in the United States are going to run you over $300.
Yeah.
The school I went to is like equivalent to like a Division II school, and I've only paid off half of my loan, half of my debt, and I'm sitting at 27,000 still. A Division II school, and now you go to a Division and then you go to a Division I school, where your bills are now gone from maybe 50,000 for like the whole experience to the hundreds.
Yeah.
And it's. I think the only time when it's worth it to go to the university if you want to do something, you love to do something, not to go there to make money. If you want to be a fucking doctor, because you want to be a doctor, you love being a doctor or a biologist or a physicist, but to go there for accounting and like things like this, to get in debt for what? You are an accountant at the end of the day. You still make money like that, but is that all of that debt worth it? Only for that.
And Florent, and to make it matters even worse, part of my the money to go to that college, a lot of it was because I got a soccer scholarship as well, and I still have that much debt alone.
That's
even with
crazy.
the grades and soccer, and I still
have
have 27.
How many years has it been?
2011 is when I graduated.
Wow, more than 10 years, and you can declare bankruptcy on your student loan debt.
that's most people just let their debt fall off after however many years.
You can't declare bankruptcy. You have to pay.
Most people just let it fall off, bro.
What do you mean fall off?
They just don't pay it. They just never pay it until the shit just
Forever?
goes away. Yeah.
But does it go to collection or something that hurts your
Um,
credit?
it does go to your credit, but I mean, after a while, it's it's just your credit's gonna go back.
Well, I never took any student loans, so I was just wondering.
Yeah,
But
man, it's just, this shit is wild as fuck. Like I maxed out like 1.5 credit cards just to make sure I can even pay, for the rest of like my school time there.
and they're
And
not
then
teaching people anything, man. I swear to God.
nah, and then like you said, in order for you to get out of college and for you to actually do get a good job, you got to be a doctor or lawyer or even like an accountant.
I
Everything
heard,
else, is a complete way, and a mechanic as well, like engineering. Outside
and
of those fields, like you wasted your time.
yeah, only what's so very what they look for people with those skills. But
Yeah,
with like regular majors like accountants and what people take just because they want to go to college because they have to, not because they have a plan or anything. Uh, I think the average job that you could get after with your degree after you finish is like 50 to 60 a year before tax. So and you're in debt like triple that, and you start
yeah,
with like one third of that as your wage, which you can't save half of it in a
and
year.
and that's if you get a good you pick something good that's going to get you that type of money, which
Yeah,
and that's another thing, they don't even tell you what types of jobs actually you know can get you the most money. They don't inform you, oh, if you want to be an art major, oh yeah, that's a great idea.
gender
Man,
studies.
you're gonna be living in a fucking shack when you get done with college. You ain't gonna
Yeah,
be able to make shit with
there's
that.
a lot of bullshit majors now too.
Yeah,
There's social studies, these this or basically volunteer work, and then they pay all of that money for nothing, and then they
yeah.
wonder why they can't make any money after they finish, because that's a
You're
bullshit fucking major.
you're literally better off getting a trade, a skill trade.
Trade school, yeah,
Yep.
trade school. You can make money with trade school, and it's a shame because socially it's not very encouraged to do that, you know. But we that actually is a very important part of our society. The people
Yeah,
that do
yeah.
the trade jobs.
You're looked down
The
on if
yeah,
imagine that, Red John. You're
you
looked down
look
on.
down on a plumber that makes 4 times more money than you,
Exactly.
just because it's a trade. And these are people that make this country run. We can't
Yeah.
run without these plumbers and construction and whatever they teach you there in trade school.
Yep.
It's messed up in the states. Ray John, what do you go? What are you studying? Or John is not here, I think.
Rory, you still
Roy is
here?
not here. No,
Uh,
I think
well, yeah. If they're listening, it's like it's very expensive. Like, yeah, United States, you do get a lot of opportunities. Blah 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 blah. But
no.
they don't.
You
They
can't
don't.
really say blah 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 because it's pretty damn good, man.
No, no, no.
Compared to
I was just saying, like, like et cetera. Not like to diminish it. Um,
compared to some other countries when it comes to school and healthcare is really behind. But in
well,
general, like
right,
it could
and that's
be.
what I was gonna say. Foreign foreign people, when they come to the United States, they do so much better than the actual like native born people because the
Yeah,
drive is different.
they have the
Like,
sense of necessity more than
right,
people that are born here.
exactly. And the people who are
And
born here they just their senses are dulled
they
compared
don't
to
know
like
they don't know how it is to be bad. That's why they never sensed it. They never lived a life where
right,
they don't have what they have today, and so
right,
they can't tell the difference. And then what people complain about today with all the most minor things, you get like huge complaints. That's why, because people think they have it hard when it's really not hard at all compared to vast majority of people of the world.
yeah,
you know they play
yeah,
the victim card in a first world country. You have the best life in all human history. You have the most comfortable life, and people complain all the time.
yeah.
All right, guys, listen, I gotta close the live in a few minutes. But yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
interesting conversation.
That's fine.
Very little to do with Milan, but
Yeah. Well, it was good. It was good talking to you guys,
yeah.
Nathan, John, Roy.
Yeah, good talking to you. Um, uh, yeah, so let's just finish off with I don't know, predictions. No, let's not do predictions. Fuck predictions.
With the Salernitana,
Salernitana Milan.
is there any first 11 that's being talked about?
Magnan, Calabria, Tomori, Romagnoli, Fernandez,
Oh,
Tonali.
Kelly's back.
Yeah, third is back. Tonali or Kessie or Kessie or Benacer. Some people are saying Kessie over Benacer. Diaz, Salamakers over Messias. That's what people are saying right now. And Leao and Giroud.
That's a pretty strong 11. Well, you still have the subs if you want to change the game with Messias.
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, true. Good point. Then we have Rebic. Also, he needs to get match fit.
Are we
Hopefully,
away?
we are away. We're away, and we're playing against a coach that just got in the team. Nicola, whatever his name is, just got this team right now because the previous coach got sacked. So this is his first game,
Oh, okay. So
And,
we
and
should
he
should take this.
he
and
was
this is sorry,
Torino's coach when we beat the shit out of Torino.
right. And oddly enough, this has been a strange coincidence that this is, I think, the third time that it happens in Milan. It happened with Shevchenko, Giampaolo, and now Nicola.
Oh, we have a good record then.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they have to do it. Right? Either they take it with the ball, take the bull by its horn, or go to bed. You know.
No, with these other games, I think we missed two chances before when our opponents had tough games and we had easy games. We didn't take those chances, and we should now, because if
Yeah,
we don't now, then it's just gonna be the same thing again.
it has to.
Yeah.
Now it's for
especially when
real, guys.
Inter is on such a especially when Inter's on such a downward slope at the
Yeah,
moment.
Yeah.
It would be criminal not to take advantage of
Yeah.
yeah,
this.
Now it's for real. Now it's like
yeah. Inter has a lot of pressure and they're fatigued from all these games. I want to see. I mean, the injuries. I couldn't believe Bastoni was back
Yeah,
with
man. Like
Liverpool.
I saw him against Liverpool and was like, "What the hell? He's back
Yeah,
already."
John, you saw the injury, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
he got, he
He
looked
looked like
bad.
he died, man. Just like
Jesus, it was only 1 week he came back
yeah.
and he played almost all game.
Like
all right, guys. Listen, sorry, guys. I really gotta close. But I really appreciate everybody. We go, Milan.
we
Um,
go.
Yes, sir.
so we will talk again. Let's see when the next stream is. I'll let everybody know. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Take
Forza
care, guys.
Milan.
Forza
Arrivederci.
Milan.
Awesome.
Ciao.
Have a good one, guys. For some
Bye.